the weight on my shoulders. I feel the sky come down on me, and I can't hold it much longer. Gotta let go so I can be free. Yeah, yeah. Oh, yeah. Yeah, yeah.
Let's have a day. Thursday, right? Thursday. Okay, for you. It's FT Live. Scotty Braun, AJ Pierzynski, Kratz, and Todd Father's back. Todd Father, you having fun watching these games? Like, especially the past 48 hours for me, watching, say, Astros Mariners late night and some of the action from earlier in the evening. I'm sure you caught a little bit of like Mets Marlins. It's got playoff vibes.
Yeah, it does, especially the late night games, man. It's exciting. There's a lot of teams that are in it. Wild card races are coming down to the finish. Not many division, champions are coming down to the finish. But yeah, dude, to see a little craziness going on. Astros, Seattle. I was kind of dozing off, and then my excitement came back. It was I like it. I'm excited to see how this thing unfolds.
And then Kratz, there's beef. So we had beef with Hector Neris and Julio Rodriguez, which we'll get to in a little bit. And then also broadcaster beef, which is always great, especially when we get to bring the broadcaster on during the show, which will be great, awesome too. So Boog Sciambi is going to join us in about an hour, Cubs broadcaster. And before that, Ken Rosenthal in a little over 10 minutes, and Shane Bieber also in hour number 2. We'll talk Tito and his poor scooter, but his successful career. So you take the trade-off.
He'll trade the scooter for a plaque in Cooperstown. So
exactly. Would you trade a shit scooter for a plaque in Cooperstown?
You can buy a lot of scooters with that plaque from Cooperstown.
Get some free scooters. They'll get some free scooters.
Yeah.
Do managers have to wait 5 years?
I don't think so. I don't know how that works.
I don't know.
Isn't
I
it like college basketball, like guys are getting in the Hall of Fame and they're still coaching, if I recall.
No, they have to be on committees, though. They don't get in through the normal vote. So there has to be like a committee, and the committee has to have like a certain time. I just don't know. I don't think they have to wait, because I don't think La Russa waited. His last year was 11 and he got in 14, I believe. So I don't think he had to wait the 5 years. So that would be a no. Just when the committee is up.
Oh.
I think there's eligibility still. I'm trying to look this up on the fly.
I mean, he's going in.
I'm trying to look this up on the fly with Bochy.
Nobody even got that.
I did. I heard it. I did. I didn't want to say that. I didn't want to say nothing.
Wait, repeat it. What did he say?
I was listening to you.
You're supposed to say unanimous. And I said anonymous, and everybody, nothing.
Yes. I stood still because I'm like, I didn't
know. Brown Lanes.
Yes. I thought AJ said anonymous. I didn't know who said it. I'm not sure.
In Florida, unanimous and anonymous is basically synonymous. So fine. Let's charge the damn mound. Whatever. I live here. I can say what I want. Ronald Acuña Jr., congratulations on 40 homers and 70 stolen bases, and not just helping your team secure home field advantage throughout the National League side of the playoff picture. And here's David O'Brien's tweet on 70, putting himself in scoring position with 1 out in the 10th. Flair for the dramatic, loves the big moments. First member of 40-70 and obviously 40-50, 40-60, whatever. A pitch later, after the stolen base, he scores the game-winning run. Cubs completely collapse again. And, AJ, Ronald Acuña Jr. is not just the MVP of the National League. He is the most valuable player in the Cubs collapse.
No, you can throw Seiya Suzuki in there too.
True.
But
it's good competition.
Listen, Ronald Acuña Jr. is not only the MVP of the National League, he's probably the most fun and exciting person to watch in all of baseball. The best part of that game last night was as soon as he got on first, I was watching the Braves broadcast, Brandon Gaudin and Jeff Francoeur and Tom Glavine are like, okay, he's going, and here comes 70. And I mean the first pitch, boom, steals it, gets it over. They do the whole thing, and they do the video montage, which I thought was awesome. Mm-hmm. We'll get into that later with Boog because they didn't think it was so awesome as Cubs people. But listen, it was unbelievable. The crowd was going crazy. It was in a big situation. It wasn't like they were up 7 runs and he took off and stole third with 2 outs. Like, I mean, this was the winning run. Next, then his boy Albies gets the hit, drive him in. I mean, it was awesome. And good for Ronald Acuña, man. I mean, this is something I never thought I'd see, but 40, 70. I mean, I don't know if we'll ever see that again.
I don't want to bury the lead here either. Todd Father.
Thank you.
Go ahead, take a bow, dude, because you took the L earlier this year on Abreu. Take the bow on this one. Go ahead.
Hey, think about this. Abreu's got 84 RBIs, too, after the year he had in the beginning of the year, but only 17 home runs. You're right. Hey, I got to be honest with you, man. I want to know, like, exactly, you know, they talk about, oh, you can get more steals. I would love to know how many steals he had before the guy threw over twice. Like, because this seems like most of them are either first pitch or second pitch, which is great. So it's like he did it right, man. He went after it. He helped me out. This might be the only bet I win this year when it comes to the show. And, you know, Kratzy was a big believer of, no, it's not going to happen. So not rubbing it in, but I'm very happy about the situation. It took the last 4 days of the year, but we'll take it. Thank you very much.
If we go back to the tape, you actually said 72. So that doesn't count.
That's so crazy.
Ruiz might get there too. There might be two guys because Esteban Ruiz has got like what, 67 or 68?
He's got 65.
Oh.
I thought he got one last night to get to 66, but he's got 65. I mean, it is incredible. 70. But guys, we have to stop talking about it because we don't want to get in the way of the Cubs' playoff chances right now by talking about this too much.
By having a 15-second break.
No, it's over, guys. Come on, it's over.
Let's move on. It's so weak that they would. It was
actually awesome by Acuna because it delayed the inevitable. It was one pitch later. It was like, we can celebrate this. That should be celebrated. They should have gotten all the bases, taken them all. He should have taken selfies with everybody, whatever it was. Because he did it in a huge situation. That's what AJ said. Like, normally this happens, like, some dude, they're winning by 7, and he's like, I'm going to take third. Boom, got it. Wow, you did it. And everybody's really, or, you know, the cycle, and you hit a double, and you stay at first base, that kind of thing. This was a tie ball game after you got the game-tying knock to knock a team out of the playoffs.
Let's not forget. The thing I found odd to me is Dansby Swanson, who played with him for years, didn't even acknowledge it.
Really?
He's the one that caught the ball at second, or he actually dropped it, but whatever. And he just turns around, and Acuna goes full Ricky Henderson with a base over his head. And is like, today, I am the greatest of all time, which is unbelievable.
Well, they knew what they were going to do.
Which was, listen, it was awesome.
Yeah.
And he did it at home, and he did it in a big situation. But Dansby's awesome. But he gets the ball, and he just doesn't even, like, you would think, like, he would have been like, dude, cool, like, it's awesome. But instead, he just, like, walked away, and then they did the whole thing. And not even, like, maybe after the game they met up and things we don't know about. But on the field, if there's someone you played with and they do something, like, historic, this is historic. I would have hoped I would have been, like, you know, at least give them, like, you know, a high five or a little hug or something cool.
Maybe he didn't realize it was 70. Or maybe he was just like, oh, my gosh. The last throw actually made it to me. The time before when he stole second on his
did you see the
69th?
He threw it to left center.
It was like
that's your boy Yan Gomes. He literally went, woo, and it went over there. I've never seen that.
Yan can throw. Yan has been a thrower since he came into the league as a backup to J.P. Arancibia. He's still doing it, but that throw was unbelievable.
What do you think happened there? Because
I think he held it. I think he tried to hold it.
Did you see his first throw where he threw? He literally threw it to the left fielder,
right to where the shortstop normally.
To left. We have 2 catchers on this show, and you're asking me?
I've never seen anybody do that before.
Never. I threw one to the
literally
left
went
fielder
like this and went. Yeah, you were throwing it to third, though. We've all done that.
Yep.
Sometimes it was a planned play for me. I'd throw it to the center fielder, and he'd throw the guy out at third because I couldn't throw him out at second.
On the fly.
On the one album, the guy would get up and go, and our center fielder would come in and throw him out at third.
T. Wise throws him out at third.
Brian Anderson coming in, chucking.
Yeah, okay.
I'll give you some theories, though, just because, yes, last night, Boog, Sciambi, and Jim Deshaies are on the broadcast for the Cubs, and we'll talk to Boog later, and they were not pleased with the montage and the stoppage of play and the whole deal. And I think you had Cubs fans that are, A, pissed off about where the team's at right now, and maybe a little bit jealous about what the Braves are doing. There's some, okay? B, they feel like it's extra innings. It's a huge moment for their season. Get out of my lane, right? That's how some are feeling. Because there were plenty of comments. I'm telling you what I don't believe in, but there were plenty of comments that said, They should have had a feel at that point that it's extra innings and it's a close game, and they should just wait until the end.
So let's say the Braves don't score that run and they lose. They're going to run a video montage afterwards. Dude, you do it right then. Todd, dude, you got to do the montage right. Listen, I've been a part of some pretty cool things. I've seen Bond's 700 homers, guys getting 300 wins, guys getting huge hits. You do it right then.
Then some fans against Acuna were like, oh, whatever, 70 is not the same anymore. Like, come on. Please. Acting as if, like, it's so inflated, it's out of control. They were showing how, like, obviously stolen base numbers are up, but it's not up for individuals as crazy as it seems, if that makes sense. So I don't remember. There was way too much number crunching and like debating going on that I got out of it. But I was like, 40-70 is a pretty big deal.
I mean, it's only the first time in history. I mean, Ricky Henderson
But there's more stolen bases
Ricky Henderson
this
was
year.
stealing 125 bases a year, but he wasn't hitting 40 home runs.
But there's more stolen bases this year. I mean, Judge last year, if this happened in a game with his home run chase in this very moment, would we not stop and acknowledge him? And also, this wasn't a 20-minute, hey, let's bring the podium on the field.
That would have been better.
Hello, everyone. I want to thank you for all coming out here. We'll get to the rest of the 10th inning coming up in just a bit. It was 90-ish seconds or whatever. It was 2-3 minutes tops. I didn't count it exactly, but I'm watching and I didn't feel like this was stretched out. Felt like by the time it was talked about being too much on the broadcast I was watching, it was already over, and then the game was over. So,
did they ask the league
deep breaths.
for extra time, or should that have been a pitch violation on Albies?
Good
Because
call.
earlier in the year, this was strict, no leeway. Now all of a sudden, MLB super just soft about all this stuff.
I wanted to see if it was on the road, what would have happened. Like, it would have been like, oh, good job, let's go pitch.
It's
You
history.
never know.
This is history in the game. We may
I
never
agree.
see it again.
I agree.
On the road, they wouldn't have probably wouldn't have done anything. I mean, they wouldn't have done a montage. There probably wouldn't have been anything, though, I feel like.
No.
It would have been like, I just don't, I
No,
don't know.
teams aren't going to do that.
Teams don't
Not
do a lot
really.
of stuff on the road for people.
No. Maybe home run different, but I don't know. I don't see it. I mean, clearly it was voiced how people on the Cubs side felt about it, or at least some on the Cubs side felt about it.
At least the announcers.
Yeah. And by the way, the Cubs are just falling apart. They're also playing just a dynamic offense that's tough to throttle, but their bullpen is crumbling. They cannot hold on to late leads. Meanwhile, Diamondbacks win. Marlins split their doubleheader yesterday. The Reds fall. That was tough. I watched almost the whole Reds game. Noel Marte got one down the line and then tried to stretch it into a double. I actually kind of think he was safe, but I don't know.
I do too.
We'll get to that on the replay. You do too?
Yeah, I did.
Yeah, but whatever. I mean, that probably did it. That
close.
ended the season. Yeah, they're a game and a half out. But here's the important part. Miami and the Cubs are tied for the third wild card. The Miami Marlins have the tiebreaker. So I know when we just showed it to you, if you're watching the show instead of listening, both are 82 and 76, and you see the Cubs ahead of the Marlins. That's actually not technically the case. The Marlins are ahead of the Cubs.
So you told me if the season ended right now, the Marlins would get it. There's no tiebreaker game.
Boom. That's it. 163 is dead.
I don't like that.
It's over. There's no more 163s. They killed it.
But if there's a three-way tie, there's like all these crazy scenarios. It could be this.
Yeah.
No, it's not that hard. I learned it this morning.
Like
Ready?
I
The
don't
Reds
like
are in, right? If it's a three-way tie.
With those three teams?
Well,
yeah.
You're going Diamondbacks, Reds.
No,
You're
no.
going Diamondbacks, Cubs, Marlins.
This is what I read this morning. Rangers, Astros, Mariners. They take the combined records that they do against both teams. So they'd be like, how are the Rangers against the Astros and the Mariners? How are the Astros against the Rangers and the Mariners? You see what I'm saying?
Yeah.
And they take those
Let's
records.
play. Let's duke it out. Have another game, man.
I agree. Give me
They
one
can't
more.
because of TV and because the extra wild card. They can't because the extra
There's
round.
no room. It's AJ's fault.
Boo.
AJ and his big national
AJ and
broadcasts.
his TV crew.
Exactly.
Yes, we can't. We don't do the wild card. You guys are going to get the K-Rod broadcast for the wild card.
No, I'm getting the Todd Father broadcast. I
got the radio, baby.
Hell yeah, baby. I'm listening to that shit. That's for me. WatchStadium.com/foul territory. I'll introduce it to you. It's kind of like podcasts.
Oh.
WatchStadium.com/foul territory for the poll question today. Very important. Is a service animal alligator taking it too far? A, free the gator. B, keep them in AJ's yard, not a stadium, or your basic C, yes, or D, no. Why are we bringing this up? It really happens. Not in Florida, in Philly. We'll get to it later. Ken Rosenthal first. We probably will skip the alligator question for him. We'll see.
Do you think you were traded from the Guardians to the Rockies, clearly? Do you think the Guardians miss you? Because I think you have more home runs yourself than they do as an entire outfield. So do you think maybe the Guardians should have maybe said, hey, you can play the outfield for us here?
No, I don't think of it like that. I mean, I think, the Guardians had Oscar Gonzalez, Will Brennan, and Will Benson at the time of me being traded, and is like, those are three really, really good players. And Will Benson ended up getting traded a little bit after me. But, I think they saw a lot in Oscar Gonzalez last year and into the playoffs. And Will Brennan through the minor leagues was probably one of the best hitters in the entire minor leagues. So, I didn't exactly fit the mold of what Cleveland loved, which is, more of a contact guy, lower strikeout rates. I am someone who's going to strike out a little bit. So I definitely don't hold any bad thoughts about Cleveland. I loved my time over there, loved my teammates, my coaches, got to play for Tito for a little bit, which was a really, really cool experience. So, I think they went with what their model is, and they like guys more of a contact guy, guys that play better outfield than I do. And, I happened to run into an opportunity where I got a chance to get some at-bats in the big leagues and kind of ran with it. So I don't think that, I don't hold anything against Cleveland. And honestly, I probably would have made the same decision they did.
And now back to foul territory.
Oh, where to begin? So many questions for FT Senior Insider Ken Rosenthal, and also some of those answers in Fair Territory, which is out there now, released a couple days ago. Ken, great to see you. I wanted to start with your thoughts on the Braves, because we talked about Ronald Acuña Jr.'s accomplishment and the Cubs' collapse. But as we get towards the postseason, do you still feel great about the Braves, like potentially this historic dominant team, or do you put them down a notch because of what's going on with their starting pitching staff?
I put them down a notch, Scott. And frankly, I'm a little worried about the Braves because of where their starting pitching is. Morton obviously is out for the division series. We know that. Max Fried is coming back, but he'll be coming back on 15 days rest. He's been on the injured list 3 times this year. He's had this recurring blister problem. So you can't exactly be sure you're going to get the classic vintage Max Fried. Then there's Spencer Strider, who has been very good for the most part, but a little inconsistent in the second half. And Bryce Elder, who has downright struggled since being named to the All-Star team. So they have enough, it would seem, if you have Fried and Strider at the top and then Elder and you patch it together with the rest. But at the same time, it's not quite what you want. Now, we've seen they can outslug anything, right? But come the playoffs, it becomes more difficult to hit, even for the Atlanta Braves, perhaps. And I just don't quite see them as invulnerable as before.
Hey, Ken, do you see still anybody beating those Braves? Because we always talked about, listen, this is the team to beat. Pitching staff or not, they can hit the darn ball. So do you still think anybody in the National League can take them down right now?
That's the question, Todd. And the Phillies are clearly the one team that, of course, beat them last year with their pitching compromised, the Braves pitching, that is. And the Phillies are a team that, in a short series in particular, can get hot offensively and really unravel a series, right? So I can see that happening. The Dodgers, it's more difficult because of their pitching concerns. Bobby Miller is probably the guy for them right now. Kershaw, of course, is still there, but he is compromised. He's hurt. So I don't know which way this is going to go in the National League. Now, the American League's even more wide open, but the National League, because of what has happened with the Braves starting pitching in the last 2 weeks, I see it as more open than it was before, for sure. Now, can Arizona with Gowan and Kelly get hot? Yeah, they could. And you can see some scenarios in which other teams kind of jump out here. Milwaukee certainly with their starting pitching, though there are questions now about Woodruff. So I do see it as more competitive than I saw it a month ago, but I ask the same question you do, Todd. Who is exactly going to beat Atlanta?
Who got screwed over more? The Cubs by the Braves' 90-second celebration at second base, or the Marlins when the Mets decided they were just not going to come into work on Saturday?
The Marlins, clearly. And this is a situation where one of their best pitchers, really their best pitcher, Braxton Garrett, was lined up to pitch on Tuesday and on Sunday in what would be the season finale. Because of that rainout that occurred on Tuesday night, in which the Mets grounds crew was scrambling to get the field ready, but it had been raining for 3 days in New York, actually 4, and the first day they didn't have the tarp down on Saturday. So that game gets postponed. Garrett gets pushed back to yesterday, and now he is unable to pitch on Sunday unless it's on short rest, which of course is not the same as being on normal rest, especially for a guy like this. Really, it's his first full season. So that is the far bigger problem than the Cubs having to sit around for 90 seconds and wait for Acuna. And I'm with you guys on this. I heard what you said the previous segment. Obviously, it's a pennant race game, and the Cubs are focused on other things. But this was a pretty big achievement. And as Scott said, it was maybe 90 seconds or whatever it was. I didn't think it was the reason that Ozzie Albies hit the next pitch and won the game. Put it that way.
2 pieces to my follow-up on the Mets thing. Has there been fines levied or anything like that? And why, besides you and this weird show called Foul Territory, was it not covered by New York media? If this was flipped, it would have been outrage. It would have been, some snarky comment on the New York Times.
Eric, I'm with you. And I can't speak for other media outlets and why it wasn't covered. I do not believe the league took any action against the Mets. And you saw, obviously, the owner of the Mets, Steve Cohen, issued an apology yesterday on Twitter, basically saying he's sorry to the Marlins because the field was unplayable. And people have said in the time that since the story has come out and since this controversy has erupted that, well, sometimes grounds crews do not put down a tarp when they think they're several days ahead for a field to get dry when a team is on the road. That's fine. I understand that, except the forecast, and I live in New York, so I know this, was rain, 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 and rain. It was not a secret that there was going to be some wet weather in those days. It was the remnants of Hurricane Ophelia. So I don't really understand what happened there. It was clearly unfortunate, and if for some reason the Marlins come down to the last day and Braxton Garrett has to pitch, and he pitches on 3 days rest and he's not the same, you're going to have some people in Miami who will still be upset because they were really upset when this all happened.
Ken, let's get into something a little more even wilder than that. The AL playoff picture. We have AL with Fox. You're in Seattle this weekend, I believe. I'm glad you got your frequent flyer miles so I can go to Baltimore. Thank you. I appreciate it. What I mean,
AJ, if I was in Baltimore, you'd be complaining about going to Seattle.
Oh, 1,000,000%. I'm glad you're in Seattle and I don't have to go to Seattle. So I'm saying thank you very much. Enjoy your frequent flyer miles.
All right.
Enjoy your 4 seasons in Seattle, though. We'll be at the Travelers Inn because
we
have
right.
the 4 seasons. But seriously, though, the AL West, right? Rangers look like they pretty much have it locked up now with where they're at. Tampa Bay's in. Toronto's in a great spot. Houston with their win last night. I think they won the tiebreaker right over Seattle, so that's really a 2-game lead. Can there be more chaos? I mean, do you think it stays where it is? It's going to be Texas wins the division, Houston's in, Toronto's in. It's Tampa, Toronto, Minnesota, Houston. That's how it's going to line up.
I do expect that, AJ, and the reason why is while Houston has a tough series in Arizona to end the season starting tomorrow, Seattle has Texas, and I believe Seattle is 1-8 against Texas this year. Now, that can change, and we've seen these teams, quite a number of them, flip this year. Texas was in real trouble. Seattle was rolling in August. Things keep turning, and is it conceivable things turn again? Yes. But Texas needs only 1 win to clinch the division. It could come tonight with Jordan Montgomery on the mound. And Seattle is going to have to get some things go their way or have some things go their way in order to get that final wild card. Toronto, to me, is kind of catching a break here. Remember, they got swept by Texas at home in mid-September. They looked cooked. And yet they came back, But the last two nights against the Yankees, admittedly, good pitchers, Michael King and Garrett Cole, they were shut out both games, and their offense continues to be kind of a mystery. Why has it not been what it was the last 2 years? So, to answer your question, I don't see it flipping, but to look at the bigger picture, I do see a wide open American League. I don't see a dominant team here. Every team I can point to in this particular playoff situation has flaws, including Baltimore. So, it's going to be kind of fun to see this all play out, but ask me to pick a winner, I couldn't do that.
Hey, Ken, something funny. You know, today marks the 10-year anniversary when the pinky got broken of your finger. Do you remember that?
Yeah, I have a memory of that, Todd. I remember who hit it, too. I remember who hit the ball and who was mocking me for it.
Hey, can we take a look? Is it like disfigured or no? It looks the same?
No, actually, Todd, let me tell people what happened here. Todd Frazier hits a foul ball. I've got my head down. I thought I was protected, but I wasn't because he hit the ball so hard and with so much English. It hooked around the screen and broke my finger. Took 10 stitches. I finished the game. It was like the third inning. I finished the game. And then Todd's doctor, the Reds doctor, goes home because it's a Saturday. He's not sticking around. So the Pirates doctor had to stitch it up. But he did such a good job that really you can't even tell that it was ever broken or ever stitched. It looks great.
That's amazing because you need that pinky finger to get the wax out of your ears, whatever you got to do with it, of course.
Yeah, absolutely, Todd.
Anyway, from one Jersey guy to the next, actually, because you're a Jersey guy now. Mike Trout. I want to bring up him a little bit. You know him, the superstar, the guy that everybody wants to be. He's a beast. You talk about in your article about him. He needs to talk to Moreno now. He needs to get some answers because you don't want his second half of his career to be, just like the first. They don't really make the playoffs. They don't do anything. I think you bring up a great point, but do you see him doing that, knowing him, how quiet he is? Well, I'm not say quiet, but he's not really big in that kind of controversy and that stuff.
Right. And the point of this, what I wrote today, was basically to say, hey, he doesn't want to be traded. He is not asking for a trade, and people cannot expect him to be something he's not. You can't expect him to be James Harden asking for a trade every 5 minutes. It's not him. He is someone who was drafted by the Angels, signed 2 big contracts with the Angels, wants to stay with the Angels. So the premise was, okay, if that's the case, and he has every right to feel that way, then what's next? And what's next should be a hard conversation with Artie Moreno. Now, he said this most recently earlier this week to reporters that he does speak with Artie Moreno and the team president, John Carpino, at the end of every season. That's fine, and I'm sure those conversations might be even a little bit more pointed than we imagine. But at this point, he needs to ask questions such as, what is our plan? What is our direction? What the heck are we doing? Because Artie Moreno as an owner is unpredictable, I would even say erratic, and their direction seems to shift year to year according to his whims. So that's what I suggested. Now, I saw a lot of the comments on the article and people saying, well, Mike Trout doesn't want out because he's not a winner. He's not competitive. This actually ticks me off when I hear it, because how do you think you get to be Mike Trout? Just floating along through life saying, hey, I got great talent, I'll just play? No, you're a great competitor. How do any of you guys, Eric, Todd, AJ, anybody else, how do you make the major leagues? Because you're tough-minded and you're competitive. So that argument, I don't buy. And while I would like to see Trout go to a contender, if that's what he wants to do, stay in Anaheim, then that is his absolute right to do that. And there actually are some things to admire about that. The loyalty, the desire to see it through. So don't tell me he's not competitive, he's not a winner. But at the same time, he cannot be passive about this anymore. I would say he needs to go to those guys, Moreno and Carpino, and say, guys, it's time. And if you don't start running this franchise in a coherent fashion, remember, I do have the right to go public. And everyone has a patience level. I would imagine Mike Trout has one too.
Dude, Ken, it's like you've been listening to me rant on the show for the last couple of weeks. But now, the biggest news I got out of that was you read the comments in your articles. I cannot wait to get burner accounts and just make up all kinds of bullshit to write in the comment section.
Hey, AJ, anything you might say, and you're creative and you're a smart guy, I don't even know if you can match what I get on a daily basis.
AJ wouldn't actually hurt your feelings, Ken. AJ just prods you a little bit. So if you see somebody a little jab here and there. You're like, oh, flag it, burner account.
Well, there are little jabs. There are wheelhouse punches that come pretty much all the time. It's just the nature of it.
So you said in your article, you said Trout, quote, your exact quote was, he needs to adopt Trout's forceful approach. Now, we've never seen much emotion out of Mike until just the other day when he was almost brought to tears. Do you feel like now as an older player, there might be more of a, as you said, forceful approach that Mike could bring up?
I don't know, honestly, Eric. And that emotion the other day was really interesting to me because this was not a spontaneous news conference at his locker. It was sort of planned in the sense that Mike is going to speak today. Here's the time. Reporters, you come and you talk to him then. So it's not as if they caught him by surprise. He knew he was going to talk. I think the emotion, if I had to guess, and I'm not inside Mike Trout's head, comes from the fact that he is so frustrated that he didn't get back really this year after the hamate fracture. And that it's been 3 years now of a lot of injuries. He's played in fewer than 50% of the Angels games the past 3 seasons, only 41 games in the second half the past 3 years combined. He's frustrated. That bothers him, of course. That's part of it. The fact that he has to answer these questions every year because the team is underachieving, that's part of it. But that emotion surprised me a little bit simply because it came at a time when you would think he would have actually been kind of programmed, right? He's ready for this news conference. It's his end of the year thing. He does it every year. But no, that frustration came through. And this idea that he doesn't care, he doesn't want to play for the Yankees, so he doesn't care. Just stop, folks. No.
Yeah, the Trout hating is insane.
It's just always, people are like, oh, he's been hurt for the last few years, so he's not worth the money, and he doesn't care. That's why he's staying there. Bullshit, dude. That dude cares a lot.
He's also still got career left.
100%.
Like, people saying he's toast, that is pushing it. You're going to eat your words.
But the problem is, again, we talked about this the other day. Where can you send him? Because it's a very limited amount of teams. And, Artie Moreno, he's not going to want to eat a lot of the contract. So if he does do it, it's so – we can spend a whole offseason on this whole – between him and Shohei.
There's no question that his value is not what it was because of the injuries and because of the concern that this is not going to get better. Players don't usually get more healthy after incurring a few years of injury-plagued years. So I can see the concern there, and we all, I would say, probably don't see Mike Trout quite the same way because we know he's been hurt, and as you get older, you're more injury-prone or susceptible, I should say, and that is going to affect him. He's owed 7 years, almost $250 million. It's a lot of money for a guy who doesn't play the full season. At the same time, if he does get healthy, and this injury this year was something of a freak thing, I would say. When you foul a ball off and you fracture your wrist, I don't know that is any indictment on your conditioning. I don't think it is, actually. So you hope he gets healthy. You hope he stays healthy. I'm sure he wants to stay healthy and will do everything in his power to stay healthy. But the reality is he has had several years now where he has not been fully healthy.
Let's finish with some manager talk. I loved your article you put out in The Athletic about all of the juicy situations that could go down. The two that I wanted to ask about, let's start with Craig Counsell. And I guess that ties into potentially what the Mets situation is now that David Stearns is the guy leading the way in the front office there. What I'd like to do, Ken, is normalize manager free agency. If you are an ownership group and you decide that you don't want to pay someone a certain amount or you don't want to lock them up to a long-term deal, right? Like the Brewers could have come to him at some point and said, we're going to make you the highest paid manager or close to that. Probably would have taken it if I had to guess. I feel like there is yes, thank you. AJ's my director. I feel like there is a misconception here where a manager has to be loyal to his team. Craig Counsell is allowed to leave if the Mets decide to pay him $6 million and the Brewers will only go to $3 million. It's not like he's suddenly ditching his players. Do you feel like the narrative is different for managers compared to players?
I do. And clearly teams look at managers differently than they do at players as well. They see them as more dispensable, in my opinion. And they might deny that, but the way they treat them, the way not just contractually they handle them, but also during the course of a season with the way managers serve as almost middle managers now between the front office and the players. They're like a conduit. That shows you that they've been devalued. Now, at the same time, Craig Counsell is a guy who was pretty active in the players' union as a player. He understands how the world works, and I am sure at this stage of his career, as successful as he has been with a team that does not have the resources of many others, that he wants to get his fair due, what he perceives to be his fair due. And right now, managers, the top salary is not even $6 million. So my goodness, when you're paying some players who are not even performing $10 million, $15 million, and you won't pay a manager $6, I mean, what are we talking about here? Craig Counsell has that kind of value. So the fact that he isn't signed, to me, indicates that he will be a free agent. It's just like any player at this stage who is not signed. You expect him to go to the open market. And I expect Counsell to go to the open market, and maybe it's the Brewers who step forward and say, you know what, Craig, we will make you the highest pay. We see you as that important to our franchise, or maybe team. I will say this, that fans who say this isn't a story, or this is Brewers fans who say this, leave our guy alone, sorry. Sign your guy to a contract extension, and then this talk all goes away. Hasn't happened.
So I know you're not a big predictions person, but you put out so many good nuggets in the managing article. I need you to give me higher likelihood instead of predictions. Alex Cora being the GM of the Red Sox next year, or your guy Counsell going to New York?
Counsell to New York. Alex Cora is going to be the manager of the Red Sox next season. He already has ruled out being the general manager. He has aspirations to be a GM, but he has basically said that he's not there yet, that he still wants to manage, and he told reporters yesterday that he will be back as the manager next year. So, Counsell, the question is, does Stearns want him? I would presume he at least wants to talk to him. Does Stearns want to fire Buck Showalter to get him? That's an important question as well. That's really the key question. And does Counsell want to go? And where is Counsell's head with all this? We really don't know. He hasn't said much about this at all. But at the same time, David Stearns has an interesting choice. He could say, you know what? I don't want to have any upheaval here. I want to learn the organization. Buck is a competent manager at the very least. Let's have him do this at least another year, and I'll see where I am. Or he might say, you know what? He's not going to be my long-term guy. And if that's the case, if Stearns believes that Buck Showalter is not someone he ultimately wants, then maybe he should make a move. I never believe in keeping guys around just to fire them later. It doesn't make much sense to me.
So my other question is about Cora and the Red Sox, Ken. I know you hinted at the fact that some people told you Alex could have been more supportive of Chaim Bloom. Can you elaborate on anything that you heard there verbally? Like, I mean, I remember seeing a couple times during the season quotes from him, like, you know, kind of working with what we've got situation. Is that what you're referring to, or was there more?
Well, what I said was that there were friends of his in the game who believed that Cora was not as supportive as he should have been, just as you mentioned, Scott. And quotes like that certainly can be taken in that light. When they had the situation where Chaim Bloom mentioned the Red Sox were underdogs, and then suddenly Cora and the rest of the players were in underdog T-shirts, that was perceived by some to be a jab. But what these people were talking about was more behind-the-scenes stuff that they weren't necessarily privy to and didn't want to share, but they felt that Chaim essentially got a raw deal. Now, the other side of this, and we've all talked about this and written about it, is that Chaim Bloom did have some deficiencies, and there were some things that didn't go so well. The deadline, for instance, I believe Kenley Jansen told Rob Bradford 2 days ago that if they had gotten starting pitching, they would have been fine with going forward. They would have been a playoff team. I don't know if I believe that, but the players, the fact that they did not get more support at the deadline for their quest, and Alex Cora's quest, that obviously bothered them. So there's two sides to this, but at the same time, there definitely is a feeling among Bloom's friends that Alex Cora was not as supportive as he could have been. That's the best way I can put it.
Okay. And yeah, we'll get to some of the other ones next time we talk, unless, you know, the teams get to them first on some of those changes. But Ken, actually one more thing, if you don't mind, and this is on the manager front, more just wanted to see if you had anything to say about Terry Francona, if you covered him for a long time.
No, wait, was he the one that pooped on his scooter? It was you, Ken.
There we go.
Well, we
Did
talk
you
about
have that one
managers
ready?
But I saw the police report.
We talk about managers all the time, right, guys? And I just mentioned how some are more effectively middle managers now and really kind of acting as a go-between between the front office and players. Terry Francona had some hard times earlier in his career. With the Phillies, he kind of lost his job, got run out of town. With the Red Sox, we all know what happened there. And in Cleveland, he found kind of a nirvana in his career. He loved working for Chris Antonetti and Mike Chernoff. They have and had a unique bond, a unique relationship in which they were honest with each other. They could go back and forth. And Francona felt he had the support from those two guys that he never really had to the same extent in other places. Maybe at times he had it, but not consistently. So he enjoyed being there. And just from a writer's perspective, a media perspective, he was one of the best people you could ever deal with. He was always understanding that you were going to ask questions, didn't always have to answer them or didn't always want to answer them, but he knew what we were doing, understood what we were doing, and also had this amazing sense of humor and just way with people that you see in his relationships with players, you see it in his relationships with media, his relationships with everyone. And I thought it was so telling last night to see the way the players reacted when he was getting that ovation, how they blocked the dugout to prevent him from getting out of there because he never wants attention on himself. And to see Jose Ramirez, their biggest star, leading the cheers. They've been together a long time, right? Ramirez and Francona, you would not necessarily expect, I don't know, a close relationship. He's a manager, he's a player. They go their different ways, but there's clearly love there. And really, everyone in the sport loves Terry Francona, and he's going to be missed. He's an original. He's a personality at a time when not a lot of managers have the same kind of personalities that they maybe once did. So Terry Francona definitely was one of the defining figures of this baseball era, and I look forward to seeing him inducted in Cooperstown someday.
Yeah, same here. Very well spoken.
He knew. Ask him the rules. Wait, before you go, what are the
What?
rules? Is there a wait time for managers, or can I get in right away?
Actually, that's a good question, AJ. I'm not positive. I believe they can get in right away, but of course they are subject to Veterans Committee votes, and now we have these different eras committees where different eras are recognized each year. So I don't know where we are in that process, which era we're up to. I don't expect he's going to go in next year, but I do expect he will go in at some point.
With the Red Sox hat?
Ask him. I don't know.
Yeah, ask him. Let's get
Oh,
him
I
on
like
the
the
show.
attitude. Let him know,
Damn,
Ken.
okay,
Yeah.
Ken.
You can ask
Yeah.
Shane Bieber. He's coming on the
I mean,
show.
he did win. The general
Yes.
rule or the general standard is you go in with the hat where you made your biggest mark. Certainly 2 World Series championships with the Red Sox where he made his biggest mark, but he was with Cleveland longer. So I don't know how that would work.
Kratz is rooting for Philly, I'm just saying.
Yeah, right. Boston. It's Boston. That's my lock. It's Boston. Ken, thank you. We'll talk to you next week. Or
Thanks,
actually
guys.
tomorrow?
Yep.
Tomorrow. All right, we'll talk to you tomorrow. And also, Fair Territory is out there, released earlier this week, and you'll have another fresh one early next week. And we'll be right back with more on Tito's dirty scooter.
Blake Snell, what's it like watching this every single day? And is there any chance that anybody else should get a vote in the Cy Young than him?
It's been an amazing year watching him, take the ball every 5-6 days, man. It has been incredible to watch. And to answer your question right away, no, I think he's a lock. I think he definitely deserves it. The way he started, little rough start, but talking to him early on in the season, he was very confident. He was very confident himself that he knew that he was going to be able, turn it on and get this thing rolling. And man, did he ever. I mean, that stretch that he went on from probably middle of May till the end of the year. He wasn't even an all-star, which was crazy to begin with. But, I think he kind of took that to heart and, did not give up anything for the rest of the year. It was very impressive watching him pitch. As consistent as he could be, I feel like with his fastball, curveball, his nasty changeup that he started throwing more this year, and then that back foot slider that he would throw to some of those righties. Just an incredible mix, and I would say he walks a little more guys than I can, just because he's able to go out there and punch out anybody he wants. So it's an interesting way he goes about it. Kind of gets his pitch count up there a little bit. But man, he's able to pitch out of jams, get the punch out whenever needed, and gives us a chance to win a ball game every single time he takes the mound.
And now back to foul territory.
Back on FT Live on Stadium, and we continue to honor Terry Francona. He didn't really want to officially let everyone know until basically the last 24 to 48 hours, even though everyone knew.
Yeah, he wasn't hiding it. Like I told you, a month ago or so, I asked him, and he was upfront about it. But he's like, I don't want it to get out. But everyone knew that. If you know Terry, he knew, and you could tell when you talked to him that he knew. I mean, there's a point as everyone, as a player, whatever, you're done. And he just was like, I'm done. But I can always come back.
There it is. Nice ovation for Tito.
You won't get out of here. Let's go.
If you're watching.
That's
it was
awesome.
packed too yesterday. And, I mentioned this earlier. We're going to talk to Shane Bieber, who's been playing for him for a while now. He was emotional yesterday post-game. So a lot of the Cleveland players said it was a great scene last night, and I think a couple of the guys said it was the loudest that it was the whole year, which is good and bad. I'm like, I think you guys probably should have had some more fans showing up at times for your team. But anyway, let's get Tito. Do you want to show the tweet first about the unfortunate part of his day? The end of Tito's time in Cleveland resulted in his hog scooter being stolen. Stripped, defecated on. He joked it's under a blanket in the clubhouse as he mourns the loss. Tito, your thoughts? No, there it is. Oof. AJ did it.
I wasn't. Nope. I like Tito.
Dude.
That would never be something that I would think about doing. Like stealing it, yeah, that'd be great. But pooping on it? No.
What does that do?
What does that do? Like,
are there
it was
Tito
Ken.
haters?
I told you who it was. He didn't deny it either.
This isn't the first time he's gotten his scooter stolen. I need that guy. I need him to lock that thing up or something. Put it in his office.
He made a lot of money.
Put an air tag on it. I don't know.
How
Something.
about a backer, like a security guard, just
a guy
standing next
there,
to his
do not
scooter
touch
at all
Tito's scooter.
times.
The best part about Tito is when I literally Thursday I had their game, so a week ago, and we talked to him for 20 minutes, and he didn't even talk about the game. He just talked about his career and the whole deal. And he's like, last time when I left Boston, I wasn't satisfied. And he said, this time I'm satisfied and I'm good. He's like, I'm going to walk away and I am happy and I've done everything I could possibly do. And I love Cleveland and they gave me the chance, and Boston and Philly. And he was at peace, which I don't know that he would have been if it wouldn't have happened any time before this year. So I think that I'm happy for Terry. I love Terry. He's one of my all-time favorite people to talk to because he just smiles every time he sees you, and he's so genuine. But I'm happy for him. And he said, I go, what happens if you – I go, you're going to miss it about February when you're supposed to be in spring training. He goes, I don't think I will. And I go, oh, everyone does the first year out. And he goes, well, if I do, I can always come back. And he's like, I'm like, do you really want to do that? And he's like, I don't know, but at least I have the option. And I was like, okay.
I think you're onto something. I was going to ask you because you actually talked to him. I talked to somebody else with the Guardians last night, and they're like, "Is it forever? I don't know." Just to see if he still has a love for it. But he's testing the retirement waters. He's going to take AJ's job at Fox for a bit.
Oh,
that's fine.
No, just put him next to Wayno, AJ, you get the whole crew.
Everybody in the club.
Let's hear from Tito first for a second.
it's kind of difficult. It was really touching. Don't ever get me wrong. I mean, my goodness sakes. I mean, I've told this group plenty of times, I know I'm not the smartest person in the room, by far. But I was smart enough to pick a place where I believed in the people, and that only grew. And I think anybody that's ever spent 10 minutes with me knows how much I like it here. It's so close to kind of where I grew up, and 2 hours away, and it was a good decision. It just seems like it got better.
Solid. Yeah, and I think in his, figuring out what he wanted to do, I think his health, I think that comes into play as well. He's a guy that had some health scares and that kind of stuff. I think knowing that, and as you get older, I mean, maybe it plays a little part of, hey, maybe I just want to be at home a little bit, hang out with the family and that kind of stuff. I mean, at least that's what I would think about, and I know he's a big family guy too as well. So, but yeah, I wish him the best. He's awesome. I always used to see him at Marley's in Arizona when we had spring training. I always see him there. We're watching a game or something, and we shoot the shit, man. He's a special dude, man. He's going to be missed in baseball.
Mike in the chat said, "Did we confirm it was a human that laid it down?"
What was it? A bear? A bear in downtown Cleveland?
Could be bird poop.
No, come on. You can tell the difference between bird poop and human poop.
Yes, you can. But did they say human?
The world will never know.
Non-shitty picks coming up next.
Man, it is very frustrating, man. I mean, it's hard to believe, looking at those records and those one-run games, the extra inning games. It's really hard to believe, and those games are freaking like gut punches too. Like, we are in it, like we are right there. We're a ball bouncing, a certain way from winning that game, and then it doesn't go our way, and we're walking home, with our freaking face punched in, and it's a bad feeling, and it's hard to get on a roll. Those are the games where, hey, we blow out somebody, and then the next game it's going to be a tight game, and those are the games that kind of get you on a roll, and those games never went our way. I feel like it was just some of the craziest stuff happening to us this year, where balls landing on the lines, balls going just foul, balls hitting the umpire from keeping us from scoring, and umpires keeping it in play. It's like, man, this is wild. It's something that I've never seen, something that I've never seen in any of my years, and the teams that I've played with. I'm sure it's happened with other teams, but never from my experience. And it's definitely frustrating. And I feel like this team is very talented, like you said, and it was just, we never were able to find that way to win a ball game in those tight situations and extra innings. And if we went 500 or even 300, we're in a different spot right now, and we might be on the inside looking a different way.
And now back to Foul Territory.
Okay, so someone who has a social media star alligator support animal, emotional support alligator, tried to bring the alligator into the Phillies game and was denied entry. That is bullshit.
Crazy.
But anyway, that was tied to our poll question on that, and most people said keep the alligators at AJ's. So as our alligator expert, what were your thoughts, and would you have allowed entry for
That's
the
crap.
alligator?
It's a service animal. Why did he
There it
get
is. We're looking at it right
just
now.
because he's an alligator? I don't understand. If it was a dog, they would have let him in, right? I mean, Wally has feelings. Wally Gator, is that his name? Wally Gator?
Do they have like Chomp at the park?
They should. That'd be awesome. Look at this guy, Wally Gator. Look, he gives hugs. Like there's kids hugging him. I mean, wear sunglasses. Only in Philly they probably booed him too when they kicked him out.
That alligator's mouth is like right next to the kid's face.
Yeah.
If he's a little hungry, no, we're not worried about it. Kratz is shaking his head. You're a Philly guy. I mean,
stop it.
Lions, Tigers, Bears.
Where does it end? Where does it end? Like
apparently at alligators. Apparently it ends at alligators.
It can't happen. AJ, you're calling somebody if that thing shows up on your property and they're taking it away.
No, I'm not. I had one 2 days ago in my backyard.
Did you call?
Call who?
You're
Alligator
calling.
services?
You're calling the people at Bay Hill, and they're coming over and say, "Sorry, Mr. Pierzynski."
Nope. Not happening, kid.
Yep. You're not letting it into a game either.
I would take care of myself, but I don't want to go to jail for like the rest of my life. So you got to be super sneaky.
Yeah, they have more rights than we do sometimes. Can't beat up an alligator. You can beat up a human if they're annoying.
Yeah.
That alligator got last-minute tickets.
Yeah, but no, I mean, top 5. You could bring bears, tigers, lions, crocodiles.
Oh, my.
Hippos, the whole thing, and just feed them humans one day at a game.
I'm just hey, listen, I'm glad it helps them kids out. That's pretty cool. I'm afraid of most animals, if you want the truth. If they're like my size or bigger, I just like, alligators, no thank you. You hear those horror stories. I wouldn't. If AJ, I was in your house right now and I knew an alligator was in there, I would probably climb to the highest point of your house and stay there until I figured it was out of there. So,
I had one in my backyard. I said, "You got it was about 10 feet off my backyard."
It's not your emotional support animal.
I know it's so awesome. I want one of those. I want one of those so bad.
But imagine that alligator in the stadium. No, I couldn't do it.
Florida is so pissed off that they didn't have that story first.
Right? How did I not think of this?
How did a Rays fan not try to bring an emotion?
How did a Gator fan not think of this?
Philly stealing the spotlight? Be right back.
So I can be free. I take the weight on my shoulders. I feel the sky come down on me, and I can't hold it much longer. Gonna let go so I can be free. Yeah, yeah. Oh, yeah. Yeah, yeah.
It's a fresh hour of foul territory. So anything you said in the first hour, just forget about it. Wipe it away. This is all new. Shane Bieber is going to join us later, and Boog Sciambi, who calls Cubs games and national games for ESPN, going to join us soon as well. And let's go over picks. We didn't get to them yet because the Alligators dominated the end of the show. Red Sox Orioles is your MLB free game of the day, streaming on the BetMGM app. Live streaming available to all BetMGM customers who are logged in and have funded accounts. The Orioles have not clinched the division yet. The magic number is 1.
Mm-hmm.
So it's a fun game to watch and bet on if you're bold and think the Red Sox will ruin them for one more day. No?
Can they wait till Saturday?
Chris
Can they wait till Saturday?
That'd be cool if they did.
Can they wait till Saturday? Because I have that game on Saturday. Can they wait?
Are they going to buy them the good champagne?
Probably not. They're going to run out.
They ran out of beer.
That's what I'm saying. They're going to run out.
Yeah.
They can they can bring animals in there if they win.
Support dogs. I'm all for. Let's do your BetMGM locks. We look back to yesterday and mostly whiffed. Lucy was really bold with the Olsen home run.
It wasn't a bad. Yeah.
It's bold.
Yours
to go
was
a plus
yours was
270.
awful. Framber got 12 outs. He's out.
Kratzy,
pissing me
man,
off.
you got some of the craziest bets I've ever seen.
Yeah,
They're so
is a dog.
boring. They're such boring bets.
That they win, though.
He just wins every
Exactly.
time.
I mean, Todd. Frazier-
Oh, Kratzy,
Yeah.
Jesus.
yeah, Kratz is a freaking stud. Anyone that's been following Kratz, from
AJ,
start to
we got to
finish,
get you
it's got
back
a
up,
roller
brother.
coaster ride.
Damn.
Dude, I went. That figure's
You
wrong
went
because
for
I
it?
went double or nothing yesterday. But so thank you, Claudia, for not putting down the exact number.
Did you go
Oh,
double?
no.
I thought I did, but I
Yeah.
didn't. I changed my mind.
All right, then
You definitely went double or nothing.
You did.
I definitely
Claudia,
did
Claudia,
because it
put
was
the real
Lucy.
one up
It was
there.
it was Lucy. It was a Bayo day. So I was like, and then he's the one that screwed me.
You love Bayo.
We will fix that for tomorrow. AJ will lose some more money. So,
Or
in
maybe
the
he wins
meantime-
today.
Yeah.
Yeah, I was going to go double or nothing again today because this is my last bet of the regular season.
Okay, then you lead off.
Okay, well, but it's plus 140, so it's kind of hard to make it double or nothing.
So, you
Do it.
Do it.
Yeah, I mean,
Yeah,
listen,
you want-
whatever it is, double or nothing. We get a clean slate in the playoffs. So I'm going single game parlay. Chris Sale's 6 punchies in 1 walk. He punched out 6 almost every time, and he always walks a guy. And then Cosmo Kramer is going to get me 4 punch outs. That's plus 140. He's going to get me 4 punch outs. That's plus 140.
I like all of that except Sale's not going to walk anyone, and you're going to go, damn it.
Oh,
I should've got
dude.
the extra 10
Here's what's
bucks."
He's
gonna
going to
Sale's
get to
gonna
like
get-
5 full counts and not walk one of
Sale's
them.
going to get mad at some point, and he's just going to phew, 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 phew.
Hit by pitch doesn't count.
I didn't say hit by pitch.
Just saying.
Hmm.
Todd Father.
He hasn't. I think he's only gone 1 start the whole year without a walk.
That's going to be 2.
Very true. No.
Dude.
You and Kratz try to get so cute with your walks.
Well, because
They
I just
do.
want the
They
plus.
do.
I want the plus. You guys
I
always
know.
bet. It's easy. Anyone could take minus 150. I want the plus number. So
I never
Kratz.
go that
That's why Kratz is up 3,000. That's why I'm up 3,000.
Sure. Todd Father won a lot with some parlay action recently. I don't know if you want to, tell the crowd about how you've done there, but we do need your luck.
I mean, that's why I'm feeling parlay action. I did one yesterday with I did a 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6-team parlay yesterday. All money line: Rangers, Dodgers, Twins, Brewers, Orioles, Diamondbacks. 250 to win 3,200 it was pretty nice day for me yesterday. So I'm going to stick with the
Damn.
parlay action again. I'm just 3 teams: Arizona money line, Milwaukee money line, Philadelphia money line at plus 221. So 300 to win 664 if I'm not mistaken, 663 if I'm not mistaken.
663.
So 663. I would stick with that. And I'm glad I did it now because Arizona's about to start here pretty soon.
Boom,
Got
there
it
you go. Just in time.
Be aware of
That's an early
Tuki
game.
Toussaint pitching against his former organization.
That's true.
No, I think
What
it'll be all
what a waiver pickup.
right.
He was actually traded to the Braves. Just FYI.
You're right.
Oh, I thought he
I remember
came
that.
Braves to the Diamondbacks and then
Braves to
No.
Or,
Diamondbacks first round pick, traded to the Braves. I was there when we traded for him.
okay.
I knew he was at the Braves. That's where he made his. He
It
was
was a
he was a
money
guy.
Yeah, it was like for nothing.
Yeah, it was money.
Yeah. Because
They
I remember we
bought-
were
they
at the
bought the
Braves. We're
prospect.
like, we made a trade for a first round pick for nothing. They must really love him in Arizona.
He does have an 80 grade name always.
Oh,
That's
yeah.
a good name.
Tuki.
Big league name.
Yes.
Yeah.
Big
All
league.
Tuki
right, Brad.
Toussaint.
All
How
right.
you
well,
winning money?
just like with
Oh, boy.
alligators, I'm afraid of alligators. AJ's not. I'm afraid of the Red Sox Orioles game a little bit more than AJ is. So I went with Dean Kramer. Only needs to give me Mean Dean's giving me 3 punchies. Sale's giving me 5 punchies.
Oh.
So I'm 1 less than AJ, and each of them are giving me a walk, which they've both done 11 of the last 12 appearances, and Sale hasn't walked a guy. So I'm Gucci with that one.
Okay.
And it's plus 105.
That'll take me 8,000 years to put together, but I'll tell it.
Yeah.
And I'm going to same game parlay the Blue Jays. Yeah, picking up 1 dub against
Yep.
the Yanks. I'm fading
like
Luke
that.
Weaver. I've done it a lot. Even Todd Father, you like it, right?
I do. They're if they lose this one, man, what a shame.
Luke Weaver on the mound against Chris Bassett. Now,
He's been good.
I'm
They
pairing
haven't scored a
this,
run
though.
in 2 games now.
I understand that, but law of averages.
I don't know. I got a hunch
something's
he's
gonna
due.
fall. It's Luke Weaver, so I'm giving them a money line, but it was way too steep. So bringing it down with over 4.5 runs in the whole game, because I also think the Yankees offense has been like a little better, mostly Judge.
But Judge just hits 2 homers every
5
game.
runs
Toronto.
or more total from both teams combined, and a Blue Jays win at -125. You guys make me look bad because you're all plus.
I feel like the Blue
aggressive.
Jays should trade for Aaron Judge since we play fantasy baseball on the show all the time. Like, because he hits so well in Toronto, they should trade for him.
Yeah.
Okay.
Oh my
What would
God,
you
he
do
hits the
about
ball so
ownership?
well over there.
Huh?
Ownership in the team? How
I
do
don't
you
know.
acquire him?
I don't know. I mean,
Yeah.
Just
go
get
to
him.
the Yan-
You just want him.
Just get him.
It's fantasy
okay?
baseball. Just we want him. So let's go get him.
Jamie Foxx, take it away. The bonus code is FOUL200. FOUL200 to place your first BetMGM sportsbook wager through the app of at least $10 and get $200 instantly in additional winnings, regardless of your wager's outcome, in bonus bets. Once you place that qualifying bet, you will receive $200 in bonus bets. Doesn't matter what happens to that initial wager of $10 or more. Gambling problem or concern? Call 1-800-GAMBLER. Okay. Do we have time, Claude, before Boog to go over? Yes, exactly. Okay. So I would like to get into the playoff game that occurred. We've been waiting to get some time here for the Mariners and the Astros. And yes, Framber Valdez did not have his best day, which is concerning going forward, but his team still won. Dusty actually did a nice job not sticking with him too long, going to a bullpen that they have a couple dudes in that bullpen in Hector Neris and Brian Abreu that are easy top 10, maybe 1 or 2 of them top 5. They both have VRAs sub 2. Those are 2 very legit weapons. And that's before Presley that they have in their bullpen. It's very
Top
impressive
5
for
this
high
season
leverage.
or top 5 overall in the game?
Top 5 this season. ERA-wise, I bet you they're top 5. I mean, they're both in the ones. So, anyway.
It's funny. I just interject. Like Hector Neris, he throws 2 pitches, Kratzy, and it's just amazing how it's fastball splitter. I mean, and it's unbelievable how it doesn't get hit. Whenever I faced that guy, it was like, all right, I know I'm going to give 3 splitters out of 5 pitches. Even if I sat on the dang thing, I've gotten 1 homer off him. It was a 3-1 count, and I guessed fastball, and I got lucky. But it just, and you want to swing at it, it's like a knuckleball. If it's high, let it fly. If it's low, let it go. It's just hard to not swing at it. It's just crazy.
That's
Yeah.
it.
Thank you.
Agree.
I just had to let you know. I just want to let everybody know about his.
No,
two
that's
You
a
want
good
to
call.
us to let us know you had 2 pitches, or you went deep off of them? Which one was it?
well, a little bit of both.
Oh,
A little bit of
okay.
He's feeling
Here and
himself today. Hit
Yeah,
that parlay.
we went a long way around. Todd, next time just say, I took this guy deep and he didn't call me a name, so I trotted around the bases and then I broke Rosenthal's finger. It was a good day.
He's
It
pretty
was a good
quiet,
day.
though. He's pretty quiet. So when I saw that yesterday, and also actually knowing they have the same agency, apparently they're friends. So now
Really?
I start to
The whole thing doesn't make any sense.
Well, no, I start to get to the conspiracy theory range. Like, did he really just randomly get fired up, or I don't know, did they have a bad card game or something like that? And he was just like,
Dude, he went Kyle
I lost
Farnsworth.
it.
He went Kyle Farnsworth and charged him right here. Like, he's not, Julio's not even looking at him.
I know. He doesn't do that, though. Have you ever seen Hector Neris go like that? I mean, Kratz, you had him in Philly for a while.
No, not like this. I've never seen anybody go like that. Like
Kyle
it was-
Farnsworth.
Yeah, but that was to another pitcher. Like he started getting so close. We talked about it around the All-Star break, how big of a human being. He just has big features, Julio is. Hector got really close and he was like, oh, okay, I'm going to go this way.
What the hell?
It was like it was a really weird, he walked up. I don't know what his mind was thinking. Somebody said on the thread last night he blacked out.
I think so. Ted Barrett was on the game, and he's like, "Yeah, well, actually, I've never seen anything like this." And I'm like, "Oh my god, there's something behind it, and we're gonna find out pretty soon because somebody's got to say something. We got to find out." That was talking about. He said some nasty slur to him. I don't even know what's going on here.
That's why I'm like, what? Something happened.
There had to be. There's more. And but listen, the Mariners did a good job of running through it all last night. Like they went back years. Neris got hit. Julio hit the home run off him, but he didn't do it. He just trotted around the bases.
Yeah, he was just happy.
Like there was
Hey,
just
Kratzy, he was fast walking them too. He's like,
Yeah, that's what I mean. He got close and he's like, "Whoa, that is a big dude."
what the hell was that?"
Here, so Julio was not available post-game to discuss it. Neris relayed through a Mariners spokesman that, quote, he didn't feel like there was any animosity between them, and that, quote, he was shocked that Houston's reliever shouted the expletives at him.
I don't know.
Video replays appear to show, this is another tweet here, homophobic slur in Spanish when he approached him. And Eugenio Suarez in the on-deck circle at the time confirmed to the Seattle Times that's what Neri said, this coming from Adam Jude.
I mean, well, first of all, whatever's said doesn't need to be like. I always like whatever was said. I mean, I'm not for slurring people.
No,
at all.
You're right.
At all.
That's
I mean, whatever's said in the heat of the moment. But the bigger issue is like he struck him out clearly through a split, big situation. Julio Rodriguez had an awful game last night. Oof. I mean, he had some huge strikeouts in big situations. First game ever hit into the double play off Verlander, bases loaded, 1 out. So he had a rough series. But if you watch Julio, he strikes out. He doesn't look at him. He doesn't throw his helmet. He just like goes back. And then, I mean, Neris was going full like Conor McGregor on him. He's like, oh, here I come, big boy. And Julio still didn't do anything. So props to Julio, but I don't know.
I like that it's not a big deal. You know, you're talking about like stuff on the field. You say things, people say things. It's bad. Unfortunately, if this was 2 American guys in English or 2 Latin guys and it was in English and we knew what word he said, this would be the first story we would have been talking about.
Mm-hmm.
Okay.
Agree.
Well, let's bring in a friend on Cubs, but we can start here. Covers the game nationally too. Boog Sciambi, Cubs broadcaster, ESPN national broadcaster. Boog, what's going on, dude? How are you?
What's up, you guys?
I just
love this. This is a good group right here.
Boog, I just got to say that I was so disappointed in you last night. Before we even get into it, I was just so disappointed in you last night. As knowing the history of the game, the way you know the game, to go off on your rant about a fucking video montage, like you're better than that, Boog. You're my guy, man. I see you all the time. You're on your ESPN radio days. Like, gosh, dang it, man. And then I heard it was you, and I was like, not Boog. If it would have been Frenchie, I would have been like, okay. But, you know, gosh, Boog. I'm like, damn him. Now I got to say bad things about this guy to his face.
I think calling it a rant would be like a little. And then I would also say, like, it's funny how people have reacted on this one. Like, let me start with this. Of this whole group, like, I've been doing this for 25 years. If anybody is trying to frame me and JD as the get off my lawn Muppet judges, like, beat it. Because that's not what my vibe is. I am take your shirt off on the field guy. Like, they open the mic, and so I get to say my opinion. Like, and last night, 5-5 in the 10th, game 158. Yeah, I mean, he probably could have waited to take the base after the game, and they probably could have waited to play the highlight montage till afterwards. That was my thought. Like, do I care today? No.
That's why I love you. That's why I love. See, that's why I love you. I know, because you're like, Mr. Analytics too.
Did not wake up this morning. I don't give a crap. It's season. I don't know what to tell you. But like, if you're asking me, like, are we stopping the game in the 10th inning when the Cubs like are playing games that matter? Like, if it had been 7-0 in the 5th, yeah, I probably could have gotten down with a little highlight montage. 5-5 in the 10th, nah. I just, like, you're at, like, my mic's open. I get to say my opinion, so that's my opinion. Do I care? Not really. Guy's had an amazing year. He's probably going to win the MVP. I'm good with it winning the MVP. That's what I got.
Should it have been a pitch clock violation since we're sticking with all the rules?
Yes, yes, it should have.
So, hey, you're going to see it in the playoffs now. I'm just saying, we set a precedent. If you see it in the playoffs, some guy steals and you know the hitter needs, it's a 2-strike count. The batter's just going to pull up the base and go,
and play the montage.
First stolen base.
Play the montage.
Yeah.
Tonight, I think we're going to do is I'm going to, like, there's a part of me, I hope the Cubs win tonight, and I hope he steals a bag, and we will run the highlight of that from 6 different angles and celebrate him being in the 40-71 club.
Homer, Homer, you're such a Homer. Homer, Such a Cubs homer now, Boog.
I'll tell you one other thing.
So,
no.
Hold on, Boog, before you go. What if you flipped it? What if it was Cody Bellinger just went 40-70, and you were playing at Wrigley, and the Braves were fighting for it, and Cody Bellinger went, I am Ricky Henderson, the greatest of all time.
All right, so White Sox guy, I'm sorry to get snobby on you, but like at our park, they don't play make noise on the scoreboard. They wouldn't run a highlight montage.
You don't have a video screen.
I mean, they wouldn't do it. Wouldn't do it.
Okay. Oh, fair. That's fair. You're still a homer, but I love you.
I mean, me as a homer is another. I mean, like me as a homer.
What do you got? Before AJ rudely interrupted you.
Yes. I don't know what I was saying.
Yeah, you had something. You were ready to roll. Hey, we heard your Twitter got hacked too as well. So
My Twitter got hacked.
Is that
and then
real?
I just kind of, I sort of parachute. It's been like 2.5 weeks, and I just sort of parachuted out. And I had another, so like I can kind of observe and evaluate on Twitter. But yeah, I didn't get back in there. I don't know. I don't know whether it was Russian bots or somebody. I don't know what happened.
It was probably AJ that did it. He got all these burner accounts.
I think it was Ronald Acuña Jr.
Yes, yes.
He steals
It was
everything.
the Braves Panavision.
What's in better shape, your stolen Twitter or Tito's stolen scooter?
Oh man, I gotta tell you, like, I love Terry Francona. He's one of my all-time favorite dudes. I got to know him over the years from covering him as a manager, Phillies, Red Sox, Indians, Guardians, but like I got to work with him 1 year at ESPN, and he was such a delight. And I'll tell you this, guys, I did the playoffs last year for ESPN TV, and he actually was asked the question, why do you think you're good at this? And he gave an answer that I think actually does sum up in a large part, and like to the former players, I think you guys would get down with this. I think he really summed up what makes him so good. When asked, he said, because I would prefer the media to think that I don't know what I'm doing compared to throwing a player under the bus. That's what makes him good. Is that in terms of building the culture, he's fine with the people asking the questions thinking, wow, he's a moron. He is not fine with throwing the players under the bus. And that's why I think year in and year out, he was able to cultivate great culture.
Okay. Yeah, listen, as a player, you respect that. Because I play with managers that don't do it and managers that do it. And the ones that don't do it, obviously, usually seem to last the longest because the players will have their back. But that's a whole different thing. But so let's get back. Speaking of, things that are happening, are the Cubs going to make it? I mean, they are leaking oil like, oof.
I mean, it's rough. So again, you're looking at that right there, and the Cubs don't have the tiebreaker against anyone. And so with that right there, Miami's in, the Cubs are not. Here's what I would say. If you made me guess, I think that if the Cubs go 4-0, I think that they'll get in. Anything other than that, I think it gets dicey. That's my guess. So like the Marlins could go 4-0 and then the Cubs aren't in. But if the Cubs go 4-0, I think that they get in. But it is so hard for them right now securing the final 3, 6, 9 outs of the game, just because Alzolay on the shelf, Fulmer on the shelf, Leiter, who's been so good this year, hadn't pitched in a week before last night, and Merriweather is a guy who's kind of on fumes. So it's really been challenging.
Did we ever find out what was wrong? Didn't Leiter go a whole week without? Did we ever figure out what was wrong with him?
I mean, it's just barking.
Just barking, just general soreness.
That's a Tom.
I mean, what I would say, the one thing to Leiter, in Leiter's defense, is he's never done this. He's been a starter his entire career. So to ask him to go 65 times 65 one-inning appearances with a back-to-back. He's never, ever done it. He had Tommy John in, I want to say, 20. And he's been used as a starter for the most part. So I would just say, even though he's 32, he's never been asked to do this. And I think it's probably something that we don't talk about enough, how relievers get abused. And I'm not like, and I don't mean that in active, I mean, just like, holy cow, like, how do you do that every day? How do you throw 70 times and pitch 3-4 straight days in a row? I don't know how they do it.
It's less the abuse, more the whatever, discard you, see you later. We'll just get the next guy.
That's right.
That's on them, the pitchers. But my thing is, you guys are set it up right now. I say you guys, the mouse in your pocket, the Cubs, no tiebreaker. Yeah. Would you rather see the game 163? Obviously, it's coming down right now. Or are you fine with how the tiebreaker situation is set up now?
I'm fine with it. I would say, look, for the sport, as much as this is not a game, it's the marathon, not a sprint. People dig 163. Anytime you're playing a single elimination game, people are going to watch. So I would say that from a fairness standpoint, I'm okay with it because it's head to head. I will tell you that the nerd in me looks at the run differential between the Cubs and the Marlins. Like, the Cubs have a 157 run advantage in run differential, and these teams are tied, which is incredible to me.
Yep.
But I would say from a fairness standpoint, I'm okay with it. I would say from a game standpoint, yeah, we would be better off if they played 163. That gets more attention for the sport, and people like a single elimination playoff game.
Agreed.
Okay, so two-parter here, Boog. First off, let's say they do find a way into the postseason. They win out, and the Marlins lose one more game, something like that. Okay. Do you think that this team could suddenly turn it around and like have a decent postseason performance? Like, hey, we talked a lot of shit, I'm saying as an industry, about the Rangers a few weeks ago, and then their bats come back, and everyone's like, oh, the Rangers are good again. It's all good. Like, could you see that with the Cubs? And on the other end of the spectrum, if the Cubs miss out, was it worth it? Like, I know they didn't have to give up a ton. They picked up Candelario, but they could have been the team that trades Bellinger, that maybe before the injury traded Stroman, and really loaded up for next year. I'm like 99% of the time, like, all for ownership, go for stuff. Like, I hate the tanking, all of that. This was the one team where I was like, I don't think this is a World Series winning team. So I would think about it in a market where there's not much else asset-wise, and Cubs fans ripped me like, we'll see you in the postseason.
Good questions. So I would say, as far as can they make a run, I think the bullpen component, unless Alzolay comes back and was to feel great, and some of the other guys, like, I think that's where they'd really have a problem. So I think it would be hard. They've got a good lineup. When, they spent most of the year, at least in the second half, right now they're third in the National League in runs per game. I mean, only the Dodgers and the Braves have scored more frequently. And that's it. The two things that they have going for them is length of lineup, and then they really catch the ball. I mean, when Swanson and Horner are your middle guys, it's probably as good a middle infield defense as there is. Bellinger's still excellent at first and good in center. So they catch it. I think Steele could be quite good. I think Stroh could probably be good, but I worry about the bullpen. So I think, could they win the first round? Probably. Could they win a division series? Be harder. But again, best of 3, best of 5. Yeah, they could do that. I think your question about was it worth it? I go round and round. I was really interested in seeing them do whatever it took to put themselves in a position to win the most games next year, just because they have so much good young talent. They have money. But I think there's something to be said for pushing towards winning and creating winning culture. So I don't know what they could have gotten for Bellinger and Stroh. It probably would have been pretty good. So I think in the end, I'm okay with how it played out, but I don't know that my argument is that strong for it, if that makes sense. So, like, I think what you said, in that spot because they weren't a World Series winning. Like, I think your argument's better, but I think I would say I'm fine with the way this has played out. It's been fun.
Boog, let me ask you this. Say they do make the playoffs. Give me the hitter that they're going to be leaning on, and give me the pitcher that they're going to have to be leaning on in the playoffs here.
I'll take the second one first. It's Justin Steele, right? So that he's got a shove, and he's a bit of a unicorn. You know, he throws 2 pitches. He's a 4-seam slider guy, but there's something about, and this is something, you know, with 2 right-handed hitters here, this is something the righties don't like him. I think teams should think about playing lefties against him, but he basically throws his 4-seamers a 92-mile-an-hour cutter, and it's just really hard to ID the pitch, and so he's always coming in, and then it's in and down. So he's the guy I think you have to lean on. It's easy to say Bellinger, but I think it's got to be Belly. He's their guy. It's amazing the way he's cut his strikeout rate from 27% to about 15%. His 2-strike hitting, his hitting against lefties. So it's got to be Belly, Frage.
Nice.
Boog. All right, real quick. This can be a 1-word answer for me. Are the Cubs going to sign Shohei?
No.
Okay, thank you.
No, I keep making the joke that they have that sports book that they should name it the Shohei Ohtani sports book and then just sort it out from there.
They're perfect. Great thinking.
They're not signing Shohei Ohtani. And definitely no is what I would say.
Okay, and then my other question is, you're doing the playoffs for ESPN Radio?
I will do the first round for ESPN TV, and then I get to call Division Series, LCS, and World Series for ESPN Radio.
Do you know who your matchups are yet? Or guessing?
I will either have for television, I will have either at Milwaukee or at Philadelphia, and I will in the Division Series be at Atlanta to start.
Okay, perfect. All right. You can watch a montage of yourself in Atlanta.
Absolutely, believe it. That's what when I'm having bad games, I just sit there and go over good play-by-play calls and just sit there and just play that. Don't break down the other guys. I just sit there and do the dig me. Like they did a bottle opener of me, Alex Gonzalez walk-off homer, 2003. Shout out Bed Bath & Beyond, RIP. But like, you sell it there, and I'm just saying. So like I'll just listen to that over and over, and it gets me pumped up, and then I turn into one of the Muppet judges, and I rant on video montages in the 10th inning.
So last thing here, Mike Monaco and I, we're doing the radio in Tampa, so we'll warm it up for you. So we'll get
love
ready
it.
To rock.
Monaco is awesome, by the way. That's
He's a beast.
Cat and a good dude.
Him and I at the Little League World Series, bro. He makes it so much easier for me. He's awesome. But hey, I want to wrap this up. Are you still raising money for ALS? You still getting after it each year? I mean, how many years have you been doing it? Talk to us about that a little bit.
You guys are awesome. Yeah, I mean, I grew up in New York City on Roosevelt Island. When I moved there, another kid who was 7 years old named Tim Sheehy, I met. We grew up. He played soccer at the University of South Carolina. He was diagnosed with ALS in 2005. Lost his battle in 2007, and we started together a charity called Project Main Street. So it's Project Main, and then it's st.org. Every dollar we raise goes to someone living with the disease because patient care is so underfunded. So we just lost Chris Snow is a guy who was an assistant GM with the Calgary Flames, just lost his battle with ALS. And it's unbelievable to me that in today's world that we still have an incurable disease. But my hope is someday our charity won't exist. But for now, we got to help people with their expenses and care, and that's what we do. So Project Main Street, since 2006 actually is when we started it, and we keep doing it. June 2nd is Lou Gehrig Day every year. I appreciate you guys letting me mention that.
Of course, awesome. That and we'll post about it obviously too. Attached to this clip. So we'll give everyone more info that's following along. Boog, thank you. Enjoy the last few days.
Hey, real quick, sorry, real quick. You're doing the 24 of the show, MLB the show.
I am.
Hey.
Could you guys do me a favor? This is what I need. I'm doing MLB the show. would you give me like stuff that I need to get into the game? Just
Me.
text me stuff that's
Me.
funny to get into the game.
Kratz, Kratz, and Frazier. It's
This
easy.
is what I'm trying to tell you. My son, his name is Ethan Kratz. He puts in his exact name. I played in the big leagues. Every time he hits, you announce him, and it goes, now batting, Ethan Katz. You're not even saying my son's name right. Every single time he plays the game.
That's
I'm
not
like,
his
turn the
fault.
volume
That's
down.
not his fault.
Ethan Katz is the pitching coach with the Twins.
White Sox, get it right. Come on, know your White Sox.
It's the White Sox. And I'm not programming the game. I'm not the coder, Kratzy. You know
Figure
what
it
I mean?
out.
So I'm just a beautiful voice.
It is a beautiful voice.
That's all I am. That's all I am.
I want Pete Alonso poop homer in there.
Yes.
we'll text you. We'll text you some shit, pun intended. Boog, thank you, dude. Shane Bieber's patiently waiting for us. But
thanks, guys. Thanks for having me. It was awesome.
Appreciate it, man. This was great. Boog Sciambi, calling games for the Cubbies, ESPN, MLB The Show, Ethan Katz.
Erik Kratz.
So tragic.
Can you hook me up with a pair?
No.
Seriously? You can't give me one pair?
No.
How many you got?
He is not Shady Rays.
Me two pair.
I want to purr.
So why?
That doesn't look good. But
I'm
sure.
stomping in my Air Force Ones.
In my Shady Rays.
I will say this for the
me a
Shady
picture of
Rays
this.
fans out there. If you wear two pairs, they're not giving you another one for your lost and broken replacements. It is the best protection in all of eyewear, but if you wear them like that, personally, I can't do you any favors. Kratz, yours are a little crooked.
I know.
I'm being that guy for you.
It's my face.
No, it's not. Tilt
No,
it.
it's your
tilt
nose.
it.
It's the way the
A
nose
little,
is.
but no, too far. Boom, nailed it.
No,
There you
it's
go.
his nose.
Perfect.
His nose is crooked.
You want these? You want these?
I don't
like
want
my
it.
dog. You want these?
No, I don't want it. You touched it. It's got your germs on it.
My germs.
Exactly. Together with customers, good time to mention this though, because I haven't mentioned it in a bit. Shady Rays is providing a lot of support to nonprofit partners across the U.S. through Shady Rays Impact, building play sets for pediatric cancer patients, providing young adults with MS the outdoor adventure of a lifetime, and making an impact in many communities for years to come. So hit up shadyrays.com, use the code FOUL for 50% off 2+ pairs of polarized sunglasses. Try for yourself the shades rated 5 stars by over 250,000 people. Coolest dude in the game, especially in the past week, is Terry Francona. And here to talk about him is a player who's been in the organization for a while now, hanging out with Tito. It's Shane Bieber making his FT Live debut. Shane, how you doing, man?
What's going on, guys? You hear me all right?
Yeah, we got you great. How was last night?
Oh, it was good. It was good. I wanted to say it's been a long time coming, so it's good to be on. Thanks for having me.
Hell yeah, right?
Yeah.
When did
Dude,
we
I've been
start
chasing
talking
him for
about this?
months. I've been chasing Shane for months now.
AJ
When
made
did
an
this start?
in-house visit.
Yeah.
Did you? What, did he come up to you? What, like in the last Saturday or two?
Dude, no, he was in the weight room, and I'm like, no, he ain't getting by me this time. I'm like, I don't care if this says no media in the weight room. I'm going in there. This is my shot.
Yeah, you're
No,
not.
he-
No,
listen,
you
he
don't
was-
qualify. You qualify as player and media, so it works.
True.
No, listen, he was great because I'm like, can I get your phone number? He gave it. I've been texting him, and I feel so bad, but he's so handsome though. When you look at him,
I feel bad that he gave your phone number.
yeah, I know.
I need some of those Shady Rays. That would help.
Yeah, we can hook you up with those for
Done.
sure.
Done. In
By the
mail.
way, did we talk about how he dealt last night against the playoff team?
Well, I said, how about last night?
I mean,
I left it open-ended.
welcome back.
Yeah, what do you got for
Yeah,
us?
thanks, guys. Yeah, it felt good to be out there. It was. It's been a upsetting season for better or for worse. Never like to go down with injury, but I didn't really care how many starts I was slated to make when I came back. It was more about just coming back, building, working on my progression. I think I'll continue to throw and ascend just a little bit, but that's all stuff to be handled in the next few days. Just to kind of work things out and get into a routine, fall back into my mechanics. Last night was definitely a step in the right direction. Feeling a lot more like myself, and it just feels good to be out there, feeling healthy, and competing really. So it was nice. Last night's energy was great. It was not quite a playoff atmosphere, but it was close to it because Cleveland in the playoffs is special. But with Tito's kind of last home game and farewell, it was emotional for him, for the fans, for the players, the entire organization. So it was nice to get a big victory there.
Hey, so there's been this ongoing, not ongoing, it's been going on since the other day. Tito's scooter, man. Did you find out who shit on his scooter, dude? I mean, that's unbelievable.
Yeah, you could probably take a poll in downtown Cleveland. There's a lot of people that want to take credit for that, but you probably won't find that person. Yeah, they put that on Twitter yesterday. It was defecated on.
Yeah. Oh, there it is.
Yeah, there it is. Yeah, his hog. I mean,
And that's like a human?
I think he parks it outside his apartment, like right on 4th Street. There's all sorts of bars and restaurants, and people. He gets yelled at when he goes home, and people know exactly whose scooter that is. So it does. That's not the first time that's happened. I think that's the first time it's been shit on, but that's not the first time it's been stolen or vandalized.
Have you ever ridden it? Have you ever hopped on it?
I haven't, and I definitely won't now. That's for sure.
Well, no, not now. But that'd be nasty.
No, that's a Tito only thing. Nobody really messes with his scooter except for the Nightcrawlers of Cleveland, I guess, and Kevin Cash.
Kevin Cash, yeah, Cashy does all the time.
Yeah, they do some foul things to each other, so nothing's off limits.
Yeah, but he's too rich. Like, my thing is, doesn't he have a place to park it or
He should have a security guard.
They should put it in his apartment. Bring it upstairs.
Yeah, Tito. He's all about convenience.
Listen, what Scott doesn't know is Tito wears the same turtleneck every damn day.
Yep.
The same turtleneck every day.
It doesn't even matter if it's raining. He's riding that hog to the field in jeans and slides and the same turtleneck or T-shirt.
I mean, he has literally like 3 turtlenecks. They're all black, and he wears them every day. It's
He's special.
It's unbelievable.
good place to be in life?
Let me ask you this: from playing this whole year, playoff time coming up, who do you think right now, from playing against these teams, who do you think the team to beat is now in the playoffs right here?
Obviously the Braves. People forget about the Dodgers, man. They seem to do it every year. Not obviously you don't forget about them, but you underrate them. Between those two, who's in the America? The Phillies are good at making a run. I don't know. That Braves lineup just is no joke.
So you're saying that no American League team's got a chance, pretty much?
No. Who's got to be the AL favorite right now? Like I've been in my own
Baltimore? Probably Baltimore. Baltimore?
Yeah, Baltimore. That lineup they're going to be dangerous for the next few years. That's for sure. Baltimore and Braves would be a hell of a series. I'm taking or I can't, but I figure a lot of people would take the over in that series.
The little inkling there. Okay.
Who did you grow up rooting for? Did you grow up an Angels fan or did you grow up a Dodgers fan?
I did grow up an Angels fan. I would be remiss if I didn't bring AJ. Was that drop third strike thing against the Angels?
It was, yeah. Thanks for bringing it up. Yeah, it hit the ground too. Yeah, that's right.
Yeah, I remember that.
I'm sorry that you're an Angels fan. Well, no,
That's
I'm going to
right.
ask you.
It wasn't. I wasn't too much of a fanatic. I've never been that much of a all in fanaticism, except for probably Liverpool.
Over Angels and Liverpool.
Who do you like?
I'm a Tottenham fan, so I hate Liverpool.
Oh, yikes!
They play Saturday too, I believe.
That's actually a big match.
I know. Oh,
we might have to get something going.
Coys, that's a whole different animal. But Scott hates soccer. He doesn't like
That's not
soccer.
true. I
He doesn't,
played when
he
I
doesn't
was
like
younger.
anything except baseball. We're not allowed to talk about anything about baseball. So
I like Braves.
well, I'm going to ask you this, and you can say no comment or you don't really care, but Mike Trout is kind of dominating the headlines with what he should do with Shohei probably leaving. Should Mike Trout ask for a trade?
It's something not too common in the baseball world, right? Like you see it in all other sports, players demanding a trade, and they end up like getting what they want. They even come out and say, "I want to go to this team." It seems that way. So maybe that'll become more common in baseball. I think. I'm not going to speak for Mike. I have no idea what he wants to do, but I'm sure he's got a great support system, great people around him. He'll figure out what is best for him and them and his future going forward. But if they do end up trading him, it'd be quite the haul, right?
Yeah, huge haul. He could do the opposite, Sciambi, where he could go from Orange County to you went from Orange County to Cleveland. He could follow you.
To Cleveland?
Yeah, to Cleveland.
I think he would take him.
Yeah.
It's not Newport Beach, but it's in Newport Beach, Midwest.
Well, that's what I was going to ask you. You see all these Guardian pitchers going. Do you always have like all your stuff kind of folded in your locker at some point? Like when you know you're getting traded, there's a chance. Like, are you always having a bag? Like, do you take 2 bags on a road trip just in case?
I joke about it, that's for sure, but I don't do it. No, I love being here. I would love to stay for a long time, but a lot of that stuff, as you guys know, isn't really in my hands. I can't control it. So I was asked about that last night, like post start, if I think about it, and I can be a little bit more unfiltered with you guys. And what I wanted to say was like I got too much other shit to worry about. So I'll let the cards fall where they may, and yeah, we'll see. But that is a funny joke. You kind of know how it goes, and no, I just got 1 bag for the time being.
Okay, what about your next manager? So do you have an inkling on who that could be in Cleveland? Like, it's really tough shoes to fill for Tito. Hale filled in, when was that? Last year or the year before?
Yeah, every year when Tito's gone
when
out.
he's got
it's
the
been DeMarlo.
surgeries.
Yeah, DeMarlo's phenomenal. Everybody loves him in and out. He would do a phenomenal job. I would love to play for him, but we'll see what they do. Again, like it's, I guess, a blessing and a curse to be able to be like, I have no control over that. Whoever they end up deciding to appoint manager, I'll be happy to play for. But D has done a phenomenal job every time he's been asked to fill in.
I'm going to give you a dark horse candidate. Terry Francona. You just said it. You said you spoke to Tito the other day. I'm not taking words out of your mouth.
This is how I'm misquoted gets flipped right here, Shane. You're going to learn right now. This is how you get misquoted. But go ahead. Continue.
Okay, like 30 minutes ago, AJ, because he's been around Tito, not as much as you, but a decent amount. He gets a lot of Cleveland games in the last few weeks. And he was like, well, like, what if you miss it? You're going to miss it come spring training, whatever. And Tito's like, well, then I'll just come back. Did you not say that?
Yeah, but I didn't. He would have come back right to Cleveland. They're going to have a new manager. It's like they're going to hire. Let's say they go out.
He wants a year off.
Yeah, I mean they're going to go out and hire Craig Counsell, and they're like, and he comes back. He's like, Craig, by the way, nice job the first week of spring training, kid. I'm back. Beat it.
Okay, fine. Then I'll rephrase. Do you think there is any chance that Tito manages another game again? You know him very well at this point. Like, is he that guy? Because he's saying, like, no, I'll be good. I'm just going to chill. Is he that guy, though? Or is he going to eventually be like, I was bored. Bochy did it.
Yeah, I think he's going to get bored. It's just a matter of when that comes. Baseball, like, he's been in the game for so long. It's cliche or whatever, but yeah, he is literally first one in, last one out. So he loves it. He lives and breathes it. I think he needs to take some time to get his body right and get his health situated. That's what he said. And I'm going to wish him all the best in that. But we'll see when that stuff gets taken care of and when the dust settles, how he'll be itching. He's done it once already, right?
Yep.
He tried I think he was working for ESPN or some other network, and he couldn't do that. He had to be in the dugout, so we'll see.
Shane, how important was it for you and Tristan McKenzie for that matter, to come back and pitch this year, to go into the offseason knowing you guys are healthy? Because you guys, up and down, obviously Tristan missed way more time than you did, but how important is it for you, both of you, but just me, mostly you, to come back and say, all right, I pitched at the end of the year. My last start, I just went 6 innings, 1 run, 7 punchies, no walks. All right, now I can go into the offseason healthy.
It's huge. That's a big part of the driving factor, but ultimately, like, I never really saw it as a choice. That's just what we do as athletes, what we do as starting pitchers. Like, you get hurt, you're going to work your way back from injury, and try and overcome that adversity. So it was nice to be able to lean on Tristan. He was able to lean on me. Kind of, it was just happenstance that our schedules lined up, and I think I ended up being 2 days in front of him, and with our rehab starts going all the way back to facing live hitters. So we went live hitters, then 2 rehab starts, and then 2 starts in the big league. So it's a big deal. Like I said, I don't think I'll have a relatively normal off season, which is nice. It's a silver lining of working your way back towards the end of the year, but I might continue this ascension just a little bit, work some things out mechanically, throw a couple more bullpens. But that stuff, like I said, will get situated in the next few days. But ultimately, it's a monkey off the back, a weight off the shoulders to be able to go out there last night, feel a lot more like myself, feel confident in my arm and my body, and kind of just let things fly and go out there and compete. That's what I love to do is compete. Was able to do that last night, and it just feels good. It makes it all worth it because it's not easy.
Where'd you do your rehab at? Where was most of your rehab? Arizona, and then did you play any rehab games?
I stayed in Cleveland. I didn't end up going out to Arizona. I know Tristan had a spell out in Arizona. He was down for a little bit longer than I was, and so that made a little bit more sense. But I try to stay around the team. I try to make as many road trips as I can, just to give and take in energy. You guys know how it is. There's nothing like it. So it's important. It was important for me to be in the dugout and be in the clubhouse prior to games and get my rehab in early in the game and still be with the guys. So I stayed in Cleveland, and then my rehab starts were pretty local. They were in first one was in Akron, so like 50 minutes to an hour away, and then second one was in Toledo with the Columbus affiliate when they were playing in Toledo. So it was actually pretty easy.
Yeah, but this is why I asked that question. What did you get the boys for spread? Because we're big on making sure you big leaguers taking care of the minor league guys. Spend a lot of time in the minor leagues, and now the teams, especially Cleveland, they buy all the food. They put tons of food in there.
Yeah, it's different than when I was. It's different than when we
different.
were going up, right? PB&J sandwiches and stuff like that. So I allowed the Guardians to continue that, and I tried to get something on top. In Akron, I got all the guys, I think like $50 gift cards to Diamond Deli. That's, I guess, where everybody goes to lunch. So I think there was upwards of like 45 gift cards or I just I was trying not to put a price on it. But like try and put money in their pockets, allow them to go and get some lunch, stuff that's not provided by the team already. So we had to get creative, but I was able to text the clubbies a couple days before, same guys that I dealt with on my time up, and we kind of ironed it out that way. So that was nice.
Love that. Love it. That's big time. Next time, AirPods, Jordans. Just saying.
Damn, man, that's crazy.
After the big contract, then we're good.
Yeah, that's for sure.
Next time, we're going to get a Cy Young next year. And
next time, though. No next time.
That's okay.
Yeah, exactly.
Okay.
No next time.
Rehab's expensive and exhausting, yeah.
Shane, before we let you go, will you do the Immaculate Grid with us real quick?
Oh, God. Will you help me with it?
Yeah,
of course.
We're all playing.
But you guys haven't done it yet?
We haven't done today.
Not today.
No. So when we have players on, we always like them to do the grid with us. It's
All right.
also funny to hear, like, well, I played with him and get a good story about whoever you're talking about.
Yeah.
Yeah,
I'm
when
in
you go in the clubhouse, you'll know the answers now too, so you look smart.
Yep, there we go. You know who's
You wanna
all
ask me?
time is either Tito or Sandy Alomar. They
Yeah, Sandy.
they'll get like the 0.5%
Oh.
questions. I don't do it daily though. You guys do it daily?
Not every day.
No, we do it like 2 or 3 times a week on the show. So let's hit the gritty so we can get the timer because we have a pitch clock on it too.
That face for AJ there looked like he was pooping on Tito's scooter.
All right, here we go. Let's line it up, baby.
Twins, Reds, got to be. I would go Tyler Mahle.
Oh, nice. Right off the jump.
Okay.
Like, good. And start the clock. There we go.
Let's start it. Okay.
Mahle for Reds, Twins.
200K season for the Reds is probably Luis Castillo.
No, not Luke. Not Luke.
Oh, no.
No, that's
Oh, no.
Oh my God.
This is when we don't have any. This is why we can't have nice things.
Yes. It's like Tito's scooter. We poop on him.
Yeah, we just pooped. It wasn't your fault, Shane. Don't.
No.
You know this
But he was
wasn't your
rolling. He was like Luis Castillo, Tyler Mahle.
You know who I had for the Reds? Aaron Harang.
The orangutan?
I think the orangutan got 200.
Why the long face?
Because I was born with it.
Wait, we can still finish.
Let's finish.
No, they're gonna reset it. That was not.
Oh,
us.
okay.
Oh, it wasn't.
Yeah, that's
Hey,
never
Luke
happened.
Mahle though, absolute beauty. Have you guys ever had him on the show?
Who?
No.
Luke
No, we
Mahle,
need him.
our incorrect.
Kratz, that's you.
Well, I mean, we don't just have like a log of backup catchers that are incredibly good looking and incredibly funny.
You have every backup catcher's phone number of like the last 30 years. So
I actually, towards the end of my career, I wanted to start putting together a thread of the dudes that just go for 1-year deals so that we can drive ourselves prices up higher and also not undercut each other.
Yeah.
Tommy.
Yeah, you guys got to get him on the show. He's a beauty.
Do it.
I'm in. Yeah, let's get him on in the next couple
MAH.
weeks. Also, I think that's
MAH.
collusion, Kratz. But anyway, all right, let's start.
There we go.
It's not collusion. It's backup catchers.
Tyler. Sorry, I said
Tyler.
Tyler.
There,
9%, all right.
Pretty high. Okay.
Good mustache though. Great start with the
That's
mustache.
where.
Good stuff.
Wait, and
Anything
Castillo.
under 10% is good. Luis.
Luis Castillo. That's going to be. Or do we want to go
No.
Harang? No, we'll go
Go
Castillo.
with Harang.
Harang. Okay.
Yeah,
You
the best.
know me, Johnny C.
He has
Rangers.
the best. No.
Rangers
For the
Twins.
200K season. For the
200K
Reds.
season. Reds.
Who's doing it
Who's in
today? Are
control
you
Who
of
guys-
is doing this?
Who is it today?
Orangutan. Look at
Look
that.
at that face.
Oh.
Joey Gallo.
Ugh.
Joey
Gallo.
Gallo. Twins. Yeah. Okay.
Yeah.
Are we going for low percentage though?
No,
we usually
way.
like
Yeah,
to,
we
but
like to, but
we're letting
we-
you roll.
Yeah, we
Let's
want
let
to
him
let
roll
you
with it.
take
Yeah,
control.
you're the guest.
You could go Pierzynski on that one.
Oh,
I go for the layups.
All right. Gallo.
you could go for Pierzynski on the next one too.
True. I'm like Erik Kratz. I'm everywhere.
Ooh.
No, you could put me on a 200K season probably.
Cincy and Braves, I got one if you want me to try that one out.
Who you got?
Brandon Phillips.
All right.
Could be sneaky because he only played there like a couple games.
12%.
Wow.
Oof.
All right.
What about like 200K season? Derek Holland for Texas. Did he get 200K?
Did he get 200?
Ooh,
Let's. Oh,
He had some good
the
years.
Dutch oven.
Yeah,
How
the
about
Dutcher.
I know Torrey Hunter, Angels. That's gonna be a big one though.
Yeah, I like AJ
yeah,
better
that'll
for
be
that
huge.
one. Let's do AJ for that one.
Twin, I didn't play for the Angels, dude.
Oh, who's Andrelton Simmons?
And how about I was thinking?
Yeah, Andrelton Simmons. Yeah.
I was thinking Cabrera for Twins.
What
Or
Cabrera?
Twins Angels or Braves Angels.
Cabrera?
Orlando Cabrera.
Orlando.
Yeah,
Yeah.
There were.
I was
a few
thinking
other
that
Cabreras.
too. I wasn't sure.
Angels strikeout.
There it is.
Oh, that's a
And you
good
get-
one.
And you get to see his Jerry curl underneath. Look at that thing
That's
in the
a
back.
That is
great.
tremendous.
That's a great headshot.
Angels
Wait, hold on.
200Ks.
Wait, hold on. Shane, you got any others? And then we'll mix in and help. I want to make sure that.
No,
the
let's
guest gets
let's
his
keep
play.
rolling.
You're
I'm
good.
trying to think.
Okay.
AJ, you play? You were Braves Rangers, right?
100%. I didn't want to toot my own horn though. 1%. I'm a 1%er.
Let's go.
Wow.
Angels Braves.
Simmons
Is that
works, man.
Simmons?
But he got traded.
Angel
He
team?
got traded there. You could do like a Alberto Callaspo. He always works for that one.
Oh. Oh.
Point
Point
two.
two.
Yeah.
Love that.
200K seasons.
I mean, Rangers, you could go C.J. Wilson for Anaheim, C.J. Wilson for Texas.
Oh, we got to pick the right one.
Oh,
For
you
Anaheim,
know,
for
you know what we
Anaheim,
gotta do
Jared,
for
I know
Texas?
Jared Weaver hit it.
You know what we got to do for Texas? We got to go. Was it Mike Minor when they dropped the ball?
Yes.
Yes.
He told him to drop the foul ball to get the.
So he
200
gets-
points.
Yes, so you
Minor.
could get it. Yes.
That
I
is
love
tremendous.
Mike Minor is a beautiful human being.
Oh, there we go.
Oh.
I love
That
how
was a
everybody's
pull.
got the wrong hat on too. It's great.
Except Gallo. Gallo's the only one
Yeah.
in Melee. All right, 200Ks Angels. I mean, Bartolo won the Cy Young there.
200Ks though, you think?
45
Yeah,
seconds.
this is when he threw a little harder than he did.
Oh, this was
Yeah, probably like
The-
300 innings as well.
not like in winter
I mean,
ball when I
C.J.
faced
Wilson.
him.
Who do you guys want? Are you
I mean, you could go-
confident
you
in
could go some-
Bartolo?
You could even go somebody, I mean, deeper than that. I mean, you could go all the way back to like
No
Chuck
mind.
Finley. Like Chuck Finley, Mark
What?
Langston.
Shane, you decide. Last one. Who do you want?
No, I don't know. You guys.
You're the Angels. You're the
We got
Angels fan.
15, 13
I'm pleased
seconds.
with my Mike Minor pull right there.
Put one
All
in.
right.
CJ Wilson or Bartolo Colon?
Finley,
Cologne,
we're going.
Cologne.
We're going.
Finley?
Hurry!
Gotta go big
Bartolo ate his
sexy.
colon. They didn't get him. Oh
Did
man!
Finley get 200K?
Wow.
He
Not
didn't
even
get 200
steroids,
Ks?
Bartolo got it.
Damn.
Oh,
Brutal.
we could have did Shohei Ohtani.
Yeah,
Yeah,
that
that's
probably would have
for
been a
sure.
high number.
Yeah, man.
Jared
right.
Weaver.
Weed.
We suck
yeah.
again.
Yeah, we suck at this game.
Thanks for playing, brother.
Yeah,
All
thank
right.
you guys.
Shane, before we let you go, I just got to know, I see all your Guardian stuff on the fridge, your magnets and stuff, but I don't see your Cy Young Award. So where is that, in the other room?
That's in Arizona. Yeah, this is a rental. We had to move in. I moved into Mike Zunino's place after he left, and that the magnet stayed. The Cy Young Award is in a still in a box in Arizona. I gotta get that thing displayed this year.
Nice.
I feel like if I won something like that, like you can kind of see.
Yeah, we've got some displays
But
back
I feel like if I had that, I'd like have it in my locker so everyone could see it. So when,
No, you
when they
wouldn't.
came to talk to me, I'd be like, talk to the Cy Young.
You would not do
Talk to
that.
the Silver Slugger.
Did you keep your silver slugger in your locker?
No, gosh, no.
Fucking monster over
I
there.
know. No, talk to the Silver Slugger.
Shane, this was worth it. Hopefully for you, it was worth the wait. Appreciate
No doubt.
it, dude. Finish strong. Have a
Finish.
fun
He's
rest.
done. Finish
I'm
strong.
saying for the team.
I mean,
Have
work
fun.
out hard those last
Yeah,
couple days.
exactly.
Get ready.
Work
Yeah,
out
well,
hard.
I
Don't
will.
let Pierzynski
Get ready
in the
for
weight room.
instructional league.
The fall league, yeah, that would be a good way to keep ascending.
Cheers,
I
man.
might,
Awesome to
I
have
might
you
have to
on.
decline that one. Yeah.
Yeah. Do not
Okay.
go to fall league.
Thanks, Shane. You're the man.
All right, guys, I appreciate it.
Cheers. Later, man. All right. That was good.
So ironic that he said fall league.
It is ironic.
don't get it.
Wait for Kratz hats.
Oh, all right,
Ooh.
let's
All right,
slap.
well, then let's slap. Amp caller, name and team and question or comment. No, not yet. Okay. We need a second. Kratz hats first.
So obviously this is the BP hat. Anybody know what the name of that team is?
Desert Dogs.
No, I was on the Desert Dogs. The Saguaros. The Saguaros.
Oh,
Yep.
Saguaros.
The Swaros, Peoria Swaros.
I was on the Phoenix Desert Dogs.
We were brutal. I caught Charlie Zink every 5 days. That was my job at the Charlie Zink's knuckleballs at the Peoria Swarrows. Eddie Rodriguez was our manager. We had like Ryan Zimmerman, Chris Young,
Eddie Rodriguez,
Brandon Moss, Brad Eldred. Like we hit absolute rockets everywhere. And our pitching staff was like, I just wish everybody, I wish our team could hit. We were like losing 15-13, 16-12.
Brad
I had the
Eldridge
opposite.
is the same size as you, by the way. He's a beast.
He's a monster.
Kratz, I had the opposite in the fall league. Every other catcher got hurt, so I had to catch like 42 days in a row. They were like, "Yeah, guess what? You're catching again." Then we brought in an Erik Kratz type backup. I forget what his name was, and they bring him in because they just like, we just need to get this guy a day off.
Corky Miller.
No, it wasn't Corky. I played with Corky later. It was some older guy because he lived in Arizona, and he goes, and they go, "Hey, we're gonna need you to play," and he goes, I need at least 10 days to get my body ready. Oh, and they're like, 10 days, this dude's going to die.
Hey, good answer by him. I love it.
He's like, I need at least 10 days to get loose.
Oh, that dude's fired.
Oh, it was unbelievable.
Also, Swarrows, really tough name. I struggled mightily. S, you know how to spell it?
Saguaros.
Yeah, it's just not
Swarrows.
Good. I know.
So Eugenio Swarrows.
I don't know. I just couldn't do it.
And the best part was, we were in the Mariners clubhouse, and Adam Jones was playing for the other Peoria team, and they were in the other clubhouse.
Oh, my God.
Like, not even Peoria guys. We were in Peoria. Not even the Mariners were on our team. It was like the Pirates, Red Sox, Blue Jays. Who else was there? Guillermo Quiros, Ryan Roberts, the Tat Man was there.
Ooh, nice. Tat Man.
So Todd, did you go to the fall league? The year I was in the fall league, we did it by divisions.
Never did.
So it was like the AL Central. So I played with the AL Central, the AL East.
That's a good idea.
Did you snarl at them?
No, we were awful. We had we did have Gabe Kapler. I mean, we had him.
All right, we got Amp. You got to go.
All right,
so,
I do. I got to go.
Who is it? What's your name? What's your team? What's your question or comment?
Unmute.
Hi guys, my name is Lindsay. My favorite team is the Phillies. My question is for Kratz. I was wondering, with the Phillies finally in the playoffs and securing the #1 wild card, what do you think the bullpen is going to look like in terms with Michael Lorenzen? Thanks, guys.
This is Michael Lorenzen. Good question, Lindsay. In terms of Michael Lorenzen, I am hearing that he will be in the bullpen. I don't think if the Phillies are going to be winning very much, they're going to be really going to Lorenzen very much. The way I just actually heard Topper talk about it 2 days ago. He's going to slot in the bullpen as like a 2-3 inning guy. And in the playoffs, his words, not mine, in the playoffs, you really don't use 2 to 3 inning guys unless you're up by a lot or down by a lot, so you don't burn out your high leverage guys. But that's an area of weakness that the Phillies, everybody saw it in the Braves series. The Phillies need to figure out the back end of that bullpen. They have electric arms, Kimbrel, Alvarado, Soto, the new guy, Orion Kerkering, but they've been giving up some runs recently.
What happened to Lorenzen? Did he run out of gas because he
threw a no-hitter? Celebrated too hard in his Vans, dude. He went skate or die, bro.
No, I love Lorenzen.
I don't.
No, he got rid of his good Vans. Sent him to the Hall of Fame. Now he's got these. Now he's got these
break him in. Got to break him in.
Give him his damn sneaks back. All right.
Hey, it's AJ's buddy's birthday today, by the way.
Who's that? Matty V?
Rob Manfred.
Oh yeah, I love Rob.
Is it Manfred's birthday?
It is, and Matty V. They're born on the same day.
Wow. Do you think they're going out for a drink?
100%.
100% no. Follow at Foul Territory on AMP. The follower count is soaring, and if you'd like to speak to us at the end of the show, that is your opportunity. We can hit some music, and tomorrow is Friday, so it is Frazier Friday. Although I don't think you'll have us for company. I'm not there.
I might try to make it.
Oh, okay, cool.
Even though Todd said before the show, he's like, "Yeah, Jess, I kind of like it when it's just us here. It's just lonely. You know, I like it. So we can play footsies under the table."
You guys can have Scott. I've been trying to get rid of him.
I'm hurt. That top
Scooter, anytime you could come here, Scooter.
There you go. There's your open invitation. See you, Scott.
Baby. Nope, I'm taking over AJ's. And Ken Rosenthal is back with us, our first back-to-back 10-day. So we'll go over some of the other manager question marks tomorrow, like Bob Melvin and
Aaron Boone.
Aaron Boone. How about Phil Nevin? Is he going to be the latest fall
Sorry,
guy
Phil.
for Artie Moreno?
What about Scott Service?
Artie's got to blame someone.
Scott Service
Erik
is the mayor's
Kratz is supposed to be a new manager soon somewhere.
Garrett Stubbs and Ryan Klesko.
Oh, I love Klesko. I wish I was on tomorrow. I could talk hunting, fishing.
Garrett Stubbs is America's
He's still partying.
party animal.
He's still partying in Philly right now in the
I hope he
clubhouse.
wears the overalls.
They
We'll
played
see
a
you
game
Friday.
and he's still going.
Name another person with the last name Stubbs quickly.
Drew
His
Stubbs.
brother.